Chapter 2803. What do you want? Huimin sent a message to Huiyanyan. I just want to see you. I have something to tell you in person. I'm at the entrance of your hospital.
Good.
Come up. Huimin suppressed the anger in his heart and finally agreed to see Huiyanyan. Instead of meeting her in the office, Huimin chose to meet her in a sparsely populated pavilion behind the hospital. Tell me, what do you want? Huimin crossed his arms in front of his chest. Wearing a white lab coat and a pair of black-rimmed glasses, he looked very distant. She knew that she and Huiyanyan could no longer maintain their previous relationship. She didn't know when it started. Maybe it was after Huixi died. Maybe it was after she found out that she was the one who came between Xin Mingxi and Wei Ying's marriage. Or maybe it was after her child was kidnapped by Huixiqian and she put on a pitiful act to force Huimian to save him. Mian, I'm sorry. Please forgive me for using such an extreme method to meet you. But I know that if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have been able to see you. Huiyanyan said pitifully. If I stab you and then tell you that I'm sorry, will you accept it?
Huimian asked.
Huiyanyan. So, don't apologize to me. After you chose to meet me in this way, you don't even have the right to apologize. Huimin looked coldly at Huiyanyan. Mian, the truth is, I have my own difficulties. Okay. If you want to put on an act, stop it. I don't have time to watch. After all, no matter how good you are at acting, you can't fool me. Tell me what you want. Huimin waved his hand and interrupted Huiyanyan before she could finish her sentence. Having grown up with Huiyanyan, Huimin knew better than anyone else what kind of person she was. How should he put it? Huiyanyan wasn't a bad person, but she had been deeply influenced by her mother all these years, so she couldn't be a kind person anymore. Because every time she faced a choice in her heart, the path she chose in the end was wrong. In the end, it caused him to walk further and further down the road of courting death. Okay, since you're so stubborn, I won't beat around the bush. Mian, please show mercy to my mother. Haha, why should I? Huimin sneered. You know He Yongjun is the mastermind.
He's dead.
My mom is just an accomplice. Without your mother, would He Yongjun have kidnapped my daughter? Are you kidding me? Huimin was so angry that his heart trembled when he thought of this. But He Yongjun did all the despicable things. He was beaten to death by Qin Chu. Huiyanyan, I'm warning you. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. You weren't there at the time, so don't spread rumors. He Yongjun killed himself because he attacked my husband. My husband was defending himself, so don't say that he was beaten to death by my husband. That's obviously out of context. Huimin was furious. Okay, let's not talk about this for now. My mother is old. If she's sentenced to life or decades, then her life is over. No matter who it is, they have to be tried for violating the law. It's useless to talk to me. You should go beg the judge. No, I know. You're very powerful now, and you can find a way to get my mother off the hook. Mian, if you're willing to let her go, then I promise I'll let her leave the country and never come back. She'll never appear in front of you again, okay? Huiyanyan tried to move Huimin and soften his heart. Chapter 2804. That's impossible.
Don't waste your time.
Don't you care about our friendship at all? There's no friendship between us. The only time I owe you is when you saved my daughter. Don't forget who helped you get her back from Huixiqian. I know. What I mean is, after all, our surnames are Hua, haha. It's useless to play the emotional card with me. Huimin sneered as he watched Huiyanyan try her best to convince him. Mian, don't force me. Whoa. You sound like you have something else up your sleeve. Huimin glared at Huiyanyan. Mian, you know that I don't want to do anything to harm you. What? Did Shunmingshi reject you? So you're at your wit's end and came to me. Huimin could tell that Huiyanyan was at her wit's end. She had made things very clear last time. If she had any sense of shame, she wouldn't have come to him again. Mian, did you see the video just now? Huiyanyan changed the topic. I did. So what? I have 2 more. They're about you and Wei Dong. What a joke. There's nothing between me and Wei Dong. Will Qin Chu believe you? Huiyanyan laughed. What do you mean? Are you threatening me? Huamin stopped smiling and looked at Huayanyan calmly. I don't know what's going on between you and Wei Dong, but from these 3 videos, I can tell that you've done a lot for him. Mian, I don't want to get involved in your personal affairs. I have no other choice. Qin Shu and Su both want my mom dead. They love you dearly and will do anything for you if you say the word. I'm not as lucky as you. Shen Mingxi won't offend the rich and powerful because of me, so I had to do this. If Qin Shu sees these videos, the consequences will be very interesting. So, Huamin looked at Huayanyan and asked, So, why don't you agree to my request? I'm not asking you to let my mom go. I'm only asking you to ask the judge to give her a lighter sentence and let her stay in prison for 3 to 5 years. After that, I'll send her abroad. Isn't that a good thing? She'll be punished and still be alive. It's a good thing for both of us. Yeah, that's a good idea. Huamin lowered his head and thought about it. So, do you agree? Huayanyan was happy to hear Huamin's words. She thought that Huamin had agreed, so she was happy. But your mom's crimes are too horrible. How can 3 to 5 years be enough? I think an evil woman like her should stay in prison for the rest of her life. You? Hearing Huamin's words, Huayanyan's expression changed again. I used to think that you're the smarter one among the 3 of you. But now I realize that you don't have a high EQ. Haha, if I were you, I'd live a quiet life with Shen Mingxi and have kids. You wouldn't do something like this, Huamin warned. That's because she's not your mom. That's why you're being sarcastic. Huayanyan yelled at Huamin emotionally. You're wrong. If she were my mom, I wouldn't forgive her if she did something that goes against her morals and conscience. In this world, everyone has to be responsible for their own actions. You make it sound so righteous. Haha, I don't like how hypocritical you are, Huayanyan rebuked Huamin. You know, if you didn't come to me today, I would have asked the judge to sentence her to life imprisonment and let her repent for the rest of her life. But now I've changed my mind, Huamin said. What do you want? Huayanyan had a bad feeling. She didn't know what Huamin could do. Chapter 28:05. Shun Jiani, she's dead meat. Huamin said word by word. Huayanyan's expression changed drastically when she heard this. Huamin, you? Huamin, hate being threatened the most. Huayanyan, don't think that I don't know that you bribed Hansu. If you don't want people to know, don't do it in the first place. Your little tricks are nothing to me. Do you think my husband will believe that little video of yours? Ha! Then, Huamin turned around and walked away. After a few steps, she turned around and emphasized, So, even if your mom dies, you're indirectly responsible for it. Just wait for her to die. Huayanyan's face was as white as a sheet. Huamin, you're such a vicious woman. Huayanyan leaned against the wall of the hospital corridor, exhausted. She thought that Huamin was afraid that the video would affect her relationship with Qin Shu, so she would let her off the hook no matter what. She didn't think that it would backfire. The feeling in her heart was indescribable. When she returned to her office, Mr. Qin happened to send her a video call. Hello, Mr. Qin. What are you doing? Qin Shu sat in his office and asked gently. I just came back from negotiating with that bitch. Huayanyan? Qin Shu guessed. Do you have to be so smart? Huamin was impressed. She begged you for mercy?
Qin Shu asked.
Yeah, but it wasn't really a plea. She threatened me. Then, Huamin told him about how Huayanyan held the video and how she helped Wei Dong out that day. So this time I'm really angry. Shin Jiani has to die.
She's a disaster.
You're finally enlightened. Qin Shu chuckled in a low voice. Honey, am I being vicious? After all, I'm pregnant with our second child. Shouldn't I do some good for the baby? Huamin reached out and touched his belly. Of course not. People like Shin Jiani are a threat. She only has hatred in her eyes. Not only that, but she also ruined Huayanyan and Huasi's lives. You're doing the right thing. Even if you agree to let her go, I won't. Don't forget how much our daughter suffered. Huamian nodded. She remembered how the twins told her about their kidnapping. When Pudding said that Little Bean's head was bleeding, tears welled up in Huamian's eyes. Qin Shu also felt as if someone was squeezing his heart. Mercy for your enemies was cruelty to yourself. A woman without conscience like Shinjiani was definitely not worthy of anyone's sympathy. But, Humian, I have to warn you about something. Mr. Qin changed the topic. Go ahead, Mr. Qin. Humin pursed his lips and smiled. Can you stop hanging out with Wei Dong from now on?
Whoa.
Is someone jealous? I'm not jealous. I just think that his IQ is too low. If you hang out with him too much, it'll affect your IQ, Mr. Qin said in a righteous tone. Humin, okay. You win. That's a perfect excuse. Humin smiled. Have you eaten?
Yes.
Humin nodded obediently. Remember to eat more. Don't starve. Qin Chu reminded gently. Humph. You're not worried about me starving. You're worried about your kids, right? Humin rolled his eyes. Chapter 28:06. You make it sound like it's not your child. Mr. Qin was speechless. Ha ha ha. Humin laughed heartily. By the way, don't tell anyone that you're pregnant. Don't tell mom and dad either. Qin Chu suddenly remembered this. I know. You're afraid that Sayue's spy will tell Husiqian and I'll have cash, right?
Yes.
Qin Chu nodded. You've been keeping Kaiwei around because you want her to give Husiqian false information at a critical moment, right? Smart. That's my plan. Husiqian and Yen Ruashi's wedding is approaching. I have a feeling that this wedding is unusual. Qin Chu's expression was serious. Unusual in what way? I don't know. I have a feeling that something is going to happen. Anyway, it's very strange. Qin Chu's intuition had always been accurate. The battle between him and Husiqian was imminent. Yen Ruashi had been with Husiqian for years and should have gotten married a long time ago. It shouldn't have dragged on until now, therefore, Qin Chu had a feeling that this might be Husiqian's scheme. He seemed to want to use the wedding to hide something. Honey, you have to be careful. Huomin also began to worry. I'll be fine, but you have to be careful. Husiqian's target has always been you, Qin Chu reminded her. Yes, I will. I've sent more people to protect you secretly. You must be careful when you go to work. Don't worry. I have tranquilizer needles with me. I won't forget them. Huomin increasingly felt that as long as Husiqian and Ian were alive, there would be no peace. Therefore, she began to carry tranquilizer needles with her. But she also knew that they were useless against those pitch-black pistols and even bombs. Every time this happened, she would be especially envious of Yen. She had superhuman combat strength and could solve everything by herself. Unlike her, who always had to be rescued, Group headquarters boss, its master Ian. Chen quietly came over with his phone. Upon hearing Ian's call, Husiqian felt a headache coming on. But he still had to accept it. My lord. Husiqian pretended to be very respectful. The date is almost here. Have you found the person I'm looking for? I'm still looking, Husiqian replied in a low voice. Haha, I knew it. That's why I didn't count on you. I'll send my men to investigate later. As for you, Mr. Ian, please listen to me. I've been held up by something recently. I'm getting married. Oh? You're getting married? Ian looked a little surprised.
Yes.
I'm getting married to my girlfriend. So, I've been busy with that matter. My lord, please give me a few days. After I get married, I'll do my best to investigate this matter. If I can't find anything by then, I'll be at your mercy. Does Nalo know you're getting married? Master Nalo doesn't know yet. Haha, that brother of mine loves you so much. If he knows you're getting married, how sad would he be? Ian laughed wildly. Beside the phone, Husiqian suppressed his anger. His expression was very dark. Mr. Ian, please give me a few days. How many days do you want?
Huh?
1 week.
Give me 1 more week.
I'll get it done for sure, Husiqian vowed. Hua, is the woman you're getting married to your sister, Mian? Ian suddenly asked. Chapter 28:07. No, that's not it. Husiqian immediately denied it. For some reason, every time Ian mentioned Huamian's name, he would feel scared. That's strange. Don't you love that little sister of yours the most?
Ian asked.
I'm marrying the mayor's daughter, Huasiqian explained. Oh, so it's a combination of power. Not bad. It suits your personality, Ian praised. Does that mean you agree, sir? Sure, I'll give you 1 more week. In Ian's opinion, 1 more week wasn't a big deal. He didn't know that Huasiqian could do a lot of things in 1 week. Only he knew how long he had been waiting for this game of chess. Thank you for your generosity, sir. Huasiqian finally let out a sigh of relief. After hanging up, Huasiqian lowered his head and pondered in silence. Boss, about the wedding. Aching asked carefully. Everything will go according to plan, okay. Aching nodded and turned to leave. GK headquarters. Every time Jishin saw this woman who looked so much like his sister, he felt disgusted. He knew that it was because she saved the twins that he made an exception and allowed her to come to work. She even replaced Assistant Yang's previous position, which made him very unhappy. Many people in the company spread rumors that Zhang Manlin was President Qin's confidant. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been given the important position of President Qin's assistant out of nowhere. Bella and Jishin both felt very uncomfortable, but there was nothing they could do. Hi, Director Jing. After work, Zhang Manlin greeted Jishin with a smile. However, Jishin didn't even look at her and walked past her, ignoring her existence. Zhang Manlin didn't feel embarrassed at all. Instead, she smiled. Then, she carried her newly bought MK handbag and walked in her high heels, swaying her but in a flirtatious manner. Not far away, the female employees whispered to each other. I really don't understand why President Qin likes this style. That's right. She even said that she looks like a young lady.
I really don't know how.
Look at her face. It's so unnatural. And her eyes are obviously seductive like a fox's. Also, when she walks, her butt is swaying. This kind of woman is obviously not easy to deal with. I think so too. I heard that Sister Bella and Director Jing hate her a lot. They never talk to her, but she's so shameless. She's always trying to be nice to them. Isn't it? Seriously, this kind of woman is really shameless. As a security guard, Zhang Shubao had an indescribable feeling in his heart when he heard this. He wanted to protect Zhang Manlin, but at the same time, he felt that he shouldn't talk too much. After all, Zhang Manlin said that she didn't want others to know about their relationship. If she didn't say anything, she would feel uncomfortable listening to everyone badmouthing her. When Zhang Manlin walked out, Zhang Shubao walked up to her and was about to say hello when he saw Zhang Manlin's murderous glare. He immediately backed away. For the convenience of going to work, Zhang Manlin didn't live in her old house. Instead, she moved to GK's female dorm. It was rare for her to get off work early today. She planned to buy some nice clothes so that she could wear them to work for President Qin. However, in a corner of a shopping mall, Zhang Manlin was surrounded by people. Bitch Zhang, you're living a happy life now, aren't you? What's wrong? Does it feel good to betray your boss? The man's hand gripped Zhang Manlin's neck tightly. Brother Cheng. Zhang Manlin immediately felt guilty when she saw Huasiqian's trusted subordinate, Cheng. Chapter 28:08. Don't call me that so intimately. I'm not your big brother Cheng. I don't have a heartless sister like you. Acheng was very loyal to Huasiqian. When he found out that Zhang Manlin went against Huasiqian's wishes and released the twins, Acheng immediately followed Huasiqian's lead. Acheng was furious when he learned that He Mian was trying to suck up to Qin Chu and even became Qin Chu's personal assistant. His first thought was that his boss was betrayed by that bitch Zhang Manlin, so he had been looking for a chance to teach her a lesson. Big brother Cheng, listen to me. Shut up. I'm asking you, who picked you up from the poor mountains and did plastic surgery for you? I did plastic surgery for you. Don't forget what you looked like back then? Yes, I know. I can't forget what Big Brother Qian did for me, Zhang Manlin quickly explained. Shut up. Don't call him Big Brother Qian. You're insulting his character. How did a bitch like you live until today? Does it feel good to betray your master for glory? Acheng grabbed Zhang Manlin's hair tightly and slapped her hard. Zhang Manlin's face immediately swelled up. Big Brother Cheng, listen to me. I'm not betraying. Before Zhang Manlin could finish her sentence, she saw two men in black suits running over. They pulled Aching away and punched him. Luckily, Aching had some skills and dodged quickly. Then, he looked at the two men cautiously. Miss Zhang, are you okay? We were sent by President Qin to protect you in secret. The two bodyguards hurried over to help Zhang Manlin up. Zhang Manlin's face turned pale. She couldn't speak. I knew it. You said you didn't betray Big Brother. Just you wait, bitch Zhang. Aching was furious. He pointed at Zhang Manlin and cursed before leaving. Mansion. Big Brother, I'm telling the truth. That bitch Zhang really betrayed you. Plus, Qin Chu arranged bodyguards to protect her secretly. She's precious right now, Aching said. Qian just drank his tea quietly, without saying a word. It seems like Qin Chu treats her differently. She originally looked like Miss Hua, and this time, she disobeyed your orders to save the twins and pretended to be a good person. So, she's going to have a meteoric rise. Qin Chu won't like her. The reason why he's treating her this way is probably because she saved his child, Qian analyzed. Qian also thought that Zhang Manlin saved the child, but he felt uncomfortable. His men had been waiting in Qinghe town for so long, but in the end, there was nothing. No matter what, it's a fact that she betrayed us. Boss, we can't let this woman live. Qian remained silent. Boss, say something. Just say the word, and I'll tear her to shreds. Aching said fiercely. Qian smiled. Don't do that. It would be a pity to tear him into pieces. I've been working on this for 5 years. Boss, you mean, how can a woman who betrayed me die so easily? Qian's lips curled up strangely. In a high-end club in Sea City, a group of rich second-generation heirs were drinking. Tang Chuan and Shen Mingxi were among them. Chuan, long time no see. Let's have a drink. Shen Mingxi was at a rich second-generation heir's birthday party. He didn't expect to run into Tang Chuan here, so to avoid awkwardness, he took the initiative to greet him with a glass of wine. I heard that Hui Yanyan is contacting a lawyer. She's going to appeal for her mother. What do you think, Brother Shen? Tang Chuan smiled with a glass of wine in his hand. Chapter 28:09. I won't interfere in Yanyan's affairs. Shen Mingxi expressed his opinion directly. Oh, didn't you say that you doted on Hui Yanyan a lot? You're even willing to fall out with your family for her? Tang Chuan asked deliberately. In other matters, yes, I dote on her, but not this. Chuan, you and I have known each other for many years. You should know that even if I'm muddle-headed, I'm still a righteous person. I won't help Hui Yanyan clear her vicious mother's name just because I like her. That's good. I was thinking that if you interfered in this matter, you might become the enemy of Qin Chu and Lord Su. I know. Shen Mingxi nodded. Of course, he knew what Tang Chuan meant. Ever since Shen Mingxi broke up with Su Yu, even Tang Chuan rarely talked to him. Even if they met on occasions, they wouldn't drink together. It was rare that Tang Chuan was in the mood to talk to him about these things. It was also because he confessed to Su Yu immediately when the twins went missing. After all, he had made some contributions. You and Lord Su have reconciled, right? Tang Chuan asked. I'm not sure. Lord Su seems to be very busy recently. He doesn't have time to talk about these things. Shen Mingxi looked a little embarrassed. That's easy. Wait, I'll call him and ask. Then, Tang Chuan took out his phone and dialed Su Yu's number. Of all people, he even put it on speaker mode. Lord Su, what? Su Yu had always been rude to Tang Chuan. Come out for a drink. Where? Su Yu seemed to be in a good mood. In Jinzuan. Many of my brothers are here. Isn't it Yu's birthday? Oh, right. Young Master Shen is here too. Tang Chuan said deliberately. At this moment, the originally lively private room suddenly quieted down. Everyone looked over, as if wanting to hear Su Yu's answer. People in this circle loved gossip the most. Back then, when Su Yu and Shen Mingxi had a falling out, this matter had been circulating in the upper-class society for a long time. However, since then, everyone had learned a lesson. They could make any kind of joke in front of Su Yu, except for Huamin. Shen Mingxi nervously held the wine glass and didn't dare to speak. Because Tang Chuan was on speakerphone, everyone could hear whatever Suyu said. If they did not give him face or said something unpleasant, how awkward would it be for him? After 3 seconds of silence, Suyu replied, "Wait for me. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Upon hearing this, Shen Mingxi heaved a sigh of relief. Tang Chuan smiled and said, "Okay, I'll wait for you." At this moment, the other rich second-generation heirs began to flatter. Young Master Tang and young Master Shen are so influential. You were able to invite Lord Su. Yeah, you're so popular today. Haha, I'm so honored that Lord Su is here. Waiter, give us 2 more royal salutes. The young man named Yu was also very happy. The group of people fooled around like this. It was the first time Su sat together for a drink with Shen Mingxi since that time. The two of them had reconciled. At this moment, Hui Yanyan was still busy with her mother's matter. "Miss Hua, Lawyer Wang has been waiting for you inside for a long time. Please go in." The assistant of the law firm nodded and bowed to Hui Yanyan with a smile. Hui Yanyan didn't look very good. She hesitated for a moment and walked in. Chapter 28:10. "Oh, you must be Miss Hui Yanyan, right? You're really pretty in person." He was an old man who looked to be in his 50s. His face was full of smiles, and his hair was loose. He looked disgusting. "Hello, Mr. Wang. You can call me Hui Yanyan."
Come on, Miss Hua.
"Have a seat." The old man was very enthusiastic. Just then, the male assistant came in with 2 cups of coffee. "Come on, Miss Hua. Please have some coffee." "No, it's okay. I'll make it short. Mr. Wang, I'm here today to talk about my mother's case. What do you think our chances of winning are?" Hui Yanyan was impatient. She leaned against the back of the sofa and said in an overbearing tone, "Oh, there's no rush. Let's talk about it slowly. I've seen your mother's case. It's a case that the whole city knows about. My mother's case is about to go to trial. I'm very anxious. Can you just tell me how confident you are?"
Hua Yanyan asked.
"Miss Hua, what kind of effect are you looking for?" The old man smiled as he looked Hui Yanyan up and down. She was wearing a rose-pink dress suit. The skirt was a little short, and her white legs were exposed. It made people's imaginations run wild. "Of course, I want my mother to be acquitted." "Acquitted? Haha, Miss Hua, you're joking. You know that's impossible. Your mother's case is a kidnapping. She was caught red-handed, and the evidence is solid. The plot is very bad. What do you think we can do?" Hui Yanyan crossed her arms and looked at the old man sitting across from her. "How should I put it? Your mother's case. According to the normal procedure, she'll be sentenced to at least 10 or 20 years in prison. But since you've come to me, I'll do my best to help you. I saw in the document that one of the suspects who committed the crime with your mother is dead, right?" "Yes, he is the main culprit." "My mother is only an accomplice," Hui Yanyan insisted. "Yes, that's a good idea. But the opposing lawyer isn't a fool. He'll find other ways to get your mother a heavier sentence. I think that with my years of experience, the chances of success will be higher if I take over this case. I'll try my best to get your mother the lightest sentence possible. What do you think? What method do you plan to use?" Hui Yanyan was curious. I can't say it now. It's a secret. We have rules in our line of work. If I say it now, wouldn't I lose my job? Well, in that case, let's talk about the price. How much is it?" Huimin took out his wallet and prepared to pay. "If it's money, that's easy. Since Miss Hu was recommended by a friend, I won't charge you too much. I'll give you a discount. How about 1,000,000 yuan? The man stretched out a finger. Hui Yanyan could not believe it. "What? 1,000,000 yuan? Are you kidding me?" Even though Hui Yanyan was not short of money, she did not want to be taken advantage of. This man was not a famous lawyer. At most, he was a second-tier lawyer who only took on divorce cases. How dare he ask for 1,000,000 yuan? What an exorbitant price. "Mr. Wang, since I said that I was recommended by a friend, how can you ask for such an exorbitant price?" Hui Yanyan was very unhappy. Chapter 28:11. "Miss Hua, that's not right. I'm only charging 1 million because a friend introduced me to you. If it were someone else, I'd charge at least 3 million. The old man stretched out 3 fingers and shook them. Mr. Wang, don't think that I don't know anything. I've asked you before. In all these years, the highest you've ever received was less than 400,000 yuan. Why is it 1 million yuan from me? Are you trying to take advantage of me? Hui Yanyan was furious. Miss Hua, I'm sorry to hear you say that. Think about it. Who else would dare to take your mother's case other than me? Hui Yanyan was suddenly at a loss for words. The old man was right. Hui Yanyan had contacted a lot of lawyers recently, but most of them refused to take her case. The reason was simple. They didn't want to offend Qin Chu and sue you. What? You don't have anything else to say, right? I'll be frank with you. You know better than me what kind of people you're dealing with. No one in the industry dares to take your case because they're afraid of ruining their careers. I'm willing to take your case because I have nothing to lose. Worst comes to worst, I'll quit being a lawyer. Plus, you're a pitiful girl running around for your mother, so I'm willing to help you. You're complaining that I'm charging you too much? Haha, if that's the case, please leave. I don't think there's any need for us to talk anymore. The old man stood up and walked back to his desk. His attitude toward Hui Yanyan immediately turned cold. Hui Yanyan thought carefully about what he said. He was indeed the first lawyer who dared to take her case. After thinking about it, Hui Yanyan gritted her teeth and decided to pay him. Wait, Mr. Wang, 1 million, right? I agree. But I want to ask, what if you lose? Do I have to pay you 1 million? Of course. Don't forget, as long as I accept this case and defend you and your mother in court, it's equivalent to becoming enemies with the Su family and the Qin family. Even if I lose, you can't let me become enemies for nothing, right? So you have to think carefully, is it worth a gamble? Alright, I agree. I'll give you 1 million, but please defend my mother. Hui Yanyan was also going all out because there was no one else other than Wang. Therefore, regardless of whether it worked or not, he had to give it a try. Haha, if that's the case, then it's much easier. However, I have an additional request. After that, the old man walked over and approached Hui Yanyan. What request? Looking at the old man's eyes, Hui Yanyan could vaguely guess what he wanted to do. Sure enough, the old man reached out his hand and placed it directly on Hui Yanyan's thigh. His action was extremely bold. What are you doing? Hui Yanyan was furious. She jumped up and glared at him. Miss Hua, I have a little fetish, and I especially like beautiful women. How about you accompany me this time? If you're willing, I can charge you 100,000 less. In your dreams. Get out of my way. You're crazy. After that, Hui Yanyan pushed the old man away and rushed out of the room. Teacher, why did the woman leave? The male assistant was dumbfounded. Haha, just wait and see. She'll come back. She'll definitely agree. The old man looked confident. Chapter 28:12. When Hui Yanyan walked out, she was in a very bad mood. She had been trying to find a lawyer for her mother, but when she finally found one, he asked for 1 million yuan. It wasn't like she couldn't afford 1 million yuan. After all, Shin Mingxi had treated her well all this while. Other than luxury goods, he often gave her money. So, Hui Yanyan could afford 1 million yuan. But in the end, he asked her to sleep with him. She was so angry. She was so young, but she was going to sleep with an old man. If Shin Mingxi found out, he would never forgive her. Suddenly, she missed Shin Mingxi so much that she sent him a WeChat message. Honey, what are you doing? There was no reply for a while. Just then, she was scrolling through her WeChat moments. She saw a socialite she knew update her WeChat moments. It was a short video. It was obviously a nightclub. Many men and women were drinking and singing. Shin Mingxi's face flashed by. Yes, she recognized him. Hui Yanyan was infuriated again. She dialed the number. Shin Mingxi was drinking with Suyu. When he saw Hui Yanyan's call, he didn't pick it up. He knew that Suyu hated Hui Yanyan. He didn't pick up? I'm so angry. Hui Yanyan was going crazy. Hui Yanyan called again, but he still didn't pick up. After 3 more calls, Hui Yanyan sent a WeChat message to the socialite. Honey, are you in Jinzuan? Yeah, the socialite answered vaguely. Hua Yanyan drove to Jinzuan. Hello, welcome. Which room is Shinmingxi in? Oh, are you talking about young Master Shin? He's upstairs at 888.
Who are you to him?
I'm his wife, Hua Yanyan said confidently. Then she went upstairs. The waiter at the nightclub was dumbfounded. Huh? Isn't young Master Shin divorced? Where did this madam come from? Hua Yanyan came in a fit of anger, so she pushed the door open and went in without a care. Everyone turned their heads to look at them. Hua Yanyan ignored the others and walked straight to Shinmingxi. You didn't reply to my WeChat messages and you didn't pick up my calls. What do you want? Hua Yanyan questioned. Shinmingxi raised his head, glanced at her, and responded indifferently. I didn't hear you. You didn't hear? Did you not hear it, or do you not want to answer it? She was relentless. Yanyan, if you have anything to say, let's go back and talk. Shinmingxi felt that there were too many people here, and most of them were from the industry. Besides, Su Yu and Tang Chuan were also here, so he didn't want to argue with her here. Especially because of those trivial matters, he would feel very embarrassed. Why should we go back and talk about it? Let's just talk about it here. Did I embarrass you? When you were with me, didn't you already know that I'm a divorced woman with a child? Hua Yanyan went overboard with her words. Tang Chuan was watching the show with a wine glass in his hand. He even laughed in Su Yu's ear. Today, I fucking found out that Hua Yanyan doesn't have a high EQ. What do you think? Su Yu sneered. He had never liked Hua Yanyan. He didn't know what Shinmingxi was thinking back then. Su Yu even thought that Hua Yanyan had cast a spell on Shinmingxi. Hua Yanyan, don't go overboard. Shinmingxi was, after all, a respectable man, and Hua Yanyan had embarrassed him like this, which annoyed him a little. Chapter 28:13. I'm going overboard? Shinmingxi, you have to know who's the one going overboard here. Did I tell you that you betrayed my mother because you wanted to make up with young Master Su? Did I blame you? In the end, I begged you to help me, but look what happened. Your wife is begging for a lawyer like a grandson. What are you doing? You're here drinking with prostitutes? Hua Yanyan lost her rationality and pointed at Shinmingxi's nose. Drinking with prostitutes? You're saying I'm drinking with prostitutes? Shinmingxi laughed coldly. It wasn't easy for him to attend a rich second-generation heir's birthday party, but Hua Yanyan accused him of drinking with prostitutes. You're right. If I didn't see a woman's WeChat moments, I wouldn't have known that you're here. No wonder you didn't answer my call. You're with young Master Su. After speaking, Hua Yanyan glanced at Su Yu. Hua Yanyan, I'm telling you, this is between you and Shinmingxi. Don't drag our Lord Su into this. Tang Chuan was very close to Su Yu. He couldn't stand people slandering Su Yu, so when Hua Yanyan pointed at Su Yu, Tang Chuan panicked. Su Yu, on the other hand, didn't say a word. He was too lazy to stand up for her. Let's talk at home. Shinmingxi felt very awkward. He grabbed Hua Yanyan's arm and tried to walk out. However, she flung Shinmingxi away. Then she looked around at the people in the private room and said, No, I'm going to say it here today. Shinmingxi, I'm asking you one last time. Are you going to help me or not? My mother is the only family I have left. Can you really bear to see me become an orphan?
Didn't you say that you love me?
How much is your true love worth? Hua Yanyan thought that if she forced Shinmingxi to submit in front of so many people, she could just apologize later. She didn't expect that with Shinmingxi's personality, he wouldn't be able to bear being embarrassed in front of so many people. Are you done? Shinmingxi took a deep breath and stared quietly at Hua Yanyan's face. I just want a word from you. Is it really that difficult? Hua Yanyan refused to give up. Well, you want me to say something, right? Then let me tell you, I won't help you. I definitely won't help you. What does your mother's death have to do with me? Besides, she deserves it. She brought this upon herself. She doesn't deserve my help, Shinmingxi said harshly. The surrounding onlookers also gasped in astonishment. There were even some people in the crowd who hissed in a low voice. Ha, fine. In order to protect your interests and because you're afraid of Su Yu and Qin Chu, you can only be a coward. Hua Yanyan was even more vicious. Every word was like a knife stabbing into Shin Mingxi's heart. For the first time in his life, he felt so much pain that he couldn't breathe. Tang Chuan gloated on the side. Haha, this is the first time I've seen a woman seeking death. It's so fucking exciting. Yanyan's method will only lead them to a dead end. Su Yu calmly analyzed. Sure enough, Shin Mingxi looked at Hui Yanyan in disappointment. Yes, I'm afraid of Qin Shu and Lord Su. I don't want to help your mother because of my interests. So what? Aren't you a capable person? Then you can deal with it yourself. Don't come to me again, and don't bother me. I really don't want to see your face again. What did you say? Shin Mingxi, I dare you to say that again. Hua Yanyan stared at Shin Mingxi in a daze as if she couldn't believe what she had just heard. Chapter 28:14. I said, I don't want to see your face ever again, Shin Mingxi repeated patiently. At this moment, there was no warmth in Shin Mingxi's eyes at all. He had been driven to a dead end by Hui Yanyan and had no feelings for her. Good, very good. You said it yourself, didn't you? Don't regret it. Hui Yanyan pointed at Shin Mingxi with tears in her eyes. No, I don't fucking regret anything I do. When I liked you, I ignored my family's objections and thousands of people's criticisms, but I never regretted it. So today, I still don't regret it. Good, very good. Ha ha ha, Shin Mingxi, we're finished completely. To save her face, Hui Yanyan initiated the breakup. Okay, I'll give you the house and car as well as the savings and gifts I gave you. If you need, I can give you more money. Let's go our separate ways from now on. You've been with me for so long, and I've never mistreated you. Don't fight, I'm tired. Who wants your money? You think you're so great just because you're rich. I don't want it. I can still live without you. I don't want your compensation. Haha. Let's see if I can handle it without you. Shin Mingxi, I've seen through you. Men are all the same. Once they put on pants, they won't admit it. You're tired of sleeping with me, aren't you? You want someone else, right? Haha, I'll fulfill your wish. After speaking, a Yan pushed Shin Mingxi hard, turned around, and left, slamming the door behind her. Shin Mingxi had no intention of chasing after her. Young Master Shin, do you want me to send you back to rest? A rich man beside him asked. No, it's okay, I'm single. It's no big deal. After speaking, Shin Mingxi sat back down beside Su Yu. Then, he picked up a bottle of wine and poured himself a full glass. Lord Su, come, let's continue. Are you okay? Seeing that he wasn't in a good mood, Su Yu didn't want him to push himself too hard. It's okay, it's really okay. Some people may be destined to be with you, but not fated to be together with you. It's good that we can only go this far. I really don't want to continue fighting with her. I'm so tired. Indeed, Hui Yanyan had made Shin Mingxi restless and exhausted recently. Whether it was at the company, at home, or drinking outside. All the time, she would send a WeChat message or make a phone call. Then, she would talk about nothing but her mother's case. Everyone knew that even the gods did not dare to intervene in her mother's case. At this time, whoever dared to accept it would be going against Qin Shu and Su Yu. They would definitely not have a good ending. Shin Mingxi wasn't wrong, but Hui Yanyan tied their relationship to her mother's case and threatened Shin Mingxi. That didn't make sense. Does Shin Mingxi love me? That's right, he loved her. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done so much for her. He didn't even hesitate to fall out with his family and Su Yu. He was ostracized by many people in the circle. Unfortunately, this woman couldn't see how good he was and how much he loved her. In her eyes, if there were 100 good people, she would kill all of them if they weren't good enough. Shin Mingxi suddenly felt a chill in his heart. He was tired, really tired. Even so, he didn't want to fight with Hui Yanyan. After all, they shared the same bed. Although they didn't have a status, they were husband and wife. Shin Mingxi didn't want to go too far. Therefore, he decided that even if they broke up, he wouldn't mistreat Hui Yanyan. But this woman? She didn't appreciate it at all. Tang Chuan patted Shin Mingxi's shoulder and said, Brother, I have something to tell you. Listen carefully, okay? Chapter 28:15. Shin Mingxi didn't say anything. Hey, Mr. Tang, don't hit him when he's down. He's in a bad mood. So you couldn't bear to see Shin Mingxi like this. After his relationship with Shin Mingxi improved, he felt like he was back to the way he used to be. I'm not hitting him when he's down. I'm serious. Bro, let me tell you, you did the right thing by breaking up with Huyenyan. Did you know? She's in big trouble this time. She definitely has something to do with what happened to the twins. Although she didn't do it directly, she didn't report it and didn't let the kids talk about it. My brother-in-law, President Qin, is really angry. I don't think he'll let her off the hook. I've talked to Ning in private. She said that her brother is a low-key and cold person who doesn't care about anything, but that's because he doesn't have a bottom line. If he does, he won't tolerate it. So, if you continue to be with her like this, I'm afraid you'll be implicated. That's why we broke up. But I still hope she doesn't suffer too much. After all, she's a single mother with a kid. Shin Mingxi was soft-hearted. Haha, does she deserve to be a mother? Does she deserve to be a mother? She should think about the kids. When she saw the twins get kidnapped, she should have told my sister-in-law, Humin. She even said that she was good friends with my sister-in-law. But look what happened. People shouldn't be so realistic. Let me tell you, if some people want to die, you can't stop them. Shin Mingxi didn't say anything after hearing this, but he felt even more depressed. He drank with Su Yu and the others until 2 a.m. Su Yu didn't drink too much because he took care of Shin Mingxi. Shin Mingxi drank until he threw up. Then, Su Yu arranged for him to take him to the Shin family's house. Shin Mingxi's mother couldn't help but feel bad when she saw her son like this. By the time An came back to pick up Su Yu and return to the mansion, it was already 3 a.m. The sun was almost up. President Su, are you hungry?
No.
Oh, don't you eat supper at this time?
And asked.
I don't feel like eating today. I'm on a diet. What do you think? Su Yu replied.
Oh.
Are you talkative today? Su Yu looked at Xiao and amused. Then can you accompany me to have a bite? I'm so hungry. Xiaoan said quietly. Su Yu, what do you want to eat? Can I order anything? Xiaoan asked. I was wondering why your face is so big these days. Are you close to me now? Su Yu looked at him with his arms crossed. No, it's just because I lost Pudding and Little Bean a while ago. I was in a bad mood and didn't have much of an appetite. I've just recovered. Alright, I like what you said. At least you have a conscience. What do you want to eat? Lobster porridge. Fuck, you're really not holding back. You want to rip me off, right?
Su Yu laughed. These are all peanuts to you, okay?
Okay. There's nothing wrong with what you said. You're right. Let's go. Lobster porridge. Just like that, Su Yu accompanied An to a 24-hour seafood restaurant in the city. After supper, it was already 5 a.m. Fortunately, the next day was Saturday, and there was nothing to do in the company. Don't call me tomorrow. I want to sleep early, Su Yu said as he got out of the car. President Su, look over there, and pointed at the door of Su Yu's mansion. A slender figure swayed in front of the door. Su Yu narrowed his eyes and walked over. Hearing footsteps, the girl turned her head. Chapter 28:16. President Su, you're back. Nia Lingxian smiled sweetly. Why are you here? I recorded an exclusive interview last night and coincidentally, it happened to be near you. I heard from the people in the company that your mental state hasn't been very good recently. I guess you've been too busy and tired recently, so I made some bone soup for you. It has my mother's secret recipe in it. It's very delicious. But I already had supper, Su Yu said bluntly. Oh, I see. You can put it in the fridge and heat it up when you want to eat it. It won't spoil. Okay then.
Thank you.
Su Yu didn't give Nia Lingxian too much face. After all, she was one of the most popular artists in the company. You're welcome. As an employee, it's my duty to care about President Su. You've been working hard for us. We feel bad that you haven't been resting well, so I came to see you on behalf of everyone. I really don't mean anything else. Nia Lingxian knew her place and wouldn't confess too much to Su Yu or make things difficult for Su Yu. Okay, I got it. It's late. Let and drive you home. It's me again, and was sleepy and reluctant to walk Nia Lingxian home when President Su asked him to take her home. It's okay. My nanny van is parked over there. I'll give you the soup when I see you. Remember to drink it.
Okay.
Su nodded mechanically. Then I'll go now. Take care, President Su. Okay. Su felt the atmosphere was weird. After Nia Lingxian left, Su looked back at him. Why are you still standing there? Are you not going home? Are you going to spend the night at my place?
No.
I'm just checking if you have any tasks for me. After all, many female artists are knocking on your door in the middle of the night. Haha. You're asking for a beating, aren't you? Go back to sleep. Su couldn't help but laugh. This was a joke from a long time ago. At that time, Imperial Star wanted to create a new batch of stars. Many young girls from the Academy of Arts wanted to take shortcuts in order to become famous overnight. It was unknown where he had found out Suyu's address, but he had been waiting here without sleeping or resting. Some of them wore very revealing clothes, while others had hundreds of thousands in cash in their pockets. Some were even funnier, carrying 2 baskets of eggs. Was this the rhythm of giving gifts? There was another one who was the most ridiculous. He directly rushed out to block Suyu's car and was almost killed. Later, he was sent to the hospital in time to be diagnosed as a minor injury, but Suyu disqualified him from the competition. For the sake of their future, these young ladies were willing to risk everything. Suyu actually wanted to see what kind of girl Huamin was. What kind of girls were Huamin in her teens and Huamin in her early 20s? She was never the most dazzling in the crowd, but she always gave people a very complicated feeling, as if they had seen her before. Suyu even sometimes wondered if he and Huamin were husband and wife in his previous life, and then he let her down. So in this life, she came to take revenge, so she tortured him to death. Thinking of this, Suyu sighed and put the bone soup in the fridge. Then he took out his phone and scrolled through his WeChat moments. He happened to see Huamin posting a picture. It was a bowl of beef ramen sprinkled with green coriander. Through the screen, Suyu could smell the fragrance. Then, he impulsively left a comment below the post. Chapter 28:17. Putting poison in the middle of the night. Huamian, I look down on you. Suyu pouted. God knew how much she wanted to eat that delicious bowl of beef ramen. She didn't expect Huamin to reply so quickly. There are many people who look down on me. Who do you think you are, Suyu? Fine, I can't win against you in an argument. Our Dr. Hua is so good at talking. Suyu smiled in relief. Why aren't you sleeping in the middle of the night? Did you come back from a night out? Huamin asked with a smile. Sis, it's not the middle of the night. It's the wee hours of the morning. How can I sleep? That spendthrift and just blackmailed me for a midnight snack. Haha, that's not a problem for you, okay? Lord Su doesn't lack money. I do. How can I not lack money? My family doesn't run a money-printing factory. Suyu retorted. I'm done talking, I want to eat my noodles, haha. Go ahead, as a pregnant woman, you should eat more. I hope the baby is fatter than Lil Bean and pudding when he's born, haha. Suyu and Huamin chatted happily in the comment section. Huamin put down his phone and picked up his chopsticks to eat his noodles. Qin Shu walked over in a navy blue robe with a glass of warm water in his hand. I want a drink.
No.
Huamin pouted. You can only drink warm water right now, good girl. Qin Shu coaxed.
No.
Be good, bear with it. Bear with it, he's only 2 months old. There's still a long way to go before he's born. I don't care, I want a drink. There's a lot of preservatives in the drink. How about I make you juice? Mr. Qin thought hard. That's a good idea. Huamin smiled. What do you want to drink, apple or watermelon? Kiwis are good. Replenish more vitamin C, Huamin requested. My dear wife, in the future, when we give birth to our second child, his nickname will be Yun. Okay? What is it?
Why?
What a strange name. Huamin was stunned. Just as she was about to figure out why Mr. Qin would come up with such a strange name, Qin Shu continued. Because you're a troublemaker. Holy shit, you're insulting me again? Huamin finally realized that Mr. Qin had insulted him to no end. Just the fact that she was a Virgo was enough for Mr. Chin to hate her for a long time. I'm just teasing you. All right, be good and eat the noodles. I'll go and make the juice. Mr. Chin was completely under Huamin's command. Huamin woke up at 3 in the morning. He suddenly said that he was hungry and wanted to eat hot noodles. Chin Shu got dressed and went to the kitchen. He had just finished making the noodles when she said that she was thirsty and wanted to make the juice again. Pregnant women were really hard to please, but Chin Shu felt that anything for Huamin was a blessing. When she was pregnant, the two of them were forced to be apart for so long, which became one of Chin Shu's biggest regrets. Now that he was given a second chance as a father-to-be, he naturally cherished it. Looking at Chin Shu's busy back, Huamin felt a warmth in her heart. Mr. Chin was such a man of action. He would always show his good to you through his actions. How could she not be happy living with such a man for the rest of her life? When Huamin was 2 months pregnant, her morning sickness was much better and she had a good appetite. She often ate supper and snacks to allay her hunger. On the other hand, after Zhang Manlin returned to the staff dormitory, she was still anxious. Chapter 28:18. Cheng wouldn't have come to her for no reason. He must have received orders from Huasiqian. Judging by Cheng's attitude towards her, she knew that Huasiqian thought she had betrayed him. In reality, Zhang Manlin didn't betray him. Being kidnapped in the mountains was an accident. Otherwise, she would have asked Huasiqian to send the children to Qinghe town. At that time, as a wanted criminal, she had nowhere else to go. But in this way, he somehow became Chin Shu's hero. Not only did the twins change their attitude towards her, but she also successfully entered GK. This was a good thing, and she should be happy. However, she felt uneasy. Just like today, when Cheng almost strangled her to death, Chin Shu's men arrived in time. It seemed like he cared about her, but was that really the case? She had been Huasiqian's chess piece for 5 years. She knew what he was capable of. If Huasiqian really thought she betrayed him on purpose, then she should be in danger right now. Therefore, Zhang Manlin was faced with 2 choices. First, go back to Huasiqian, explain everything clearly, continue to be his spy, and help him complete his big plan. Once Huamin was taken away by Huasiqian, she could have Chin Shu for herself. Second, go to Chin Shu and tell him everything. Ask for protection and draw a clear line between her and Huasiqian. However, neither Chin Shu nor Huasiqian was easy to deal with. For the first time in her life, Zhang Manlin was in a dilemma. 6 a.m. at the Hu mansion. Huasiqian came downstairs on time. He was wearing a pink shirt and black trousers that he hadn't worn in a long time. There was a hint of gloominess on his face. The leather watch on his wrist was a limited edition Patek Philippe, showing off the owner's noble and luxurious status. Boss, good morning. Cheng stood across from Huasiqian. Cheng, sit. Let's eat something together. Boss, I have something to report. No rush. Eat first. Huasiqian's expression was calm. Cheng didn't dare to say anything. He sat across from Huasiqian and looked at the sumptuous breakfast on the table. He didn't dare to move. Here, try this. Is it good? Huasiqian pushed a bowl of sticky yellow porridge towards Cheng. Cheng picked up a small spoon and ate slowly. When I was very young, my biological parents sent me to the Hu family. My adoptive mother was a very hot-tempered woman. Because she never loved me, she poured all her hatred on me and tortured me as much as she could. I remember one time when I was locked up in a warehouse for 2 days and 2 nights and was starving. After she let me out, she ordered someone to give me a bowl of porridge. Because I was so hungry, I wolfed down the porridge. After I swallowed it, I realized that the porridge was very hot. It was a special kind of rice called yellow rice, and its temperature was very high. Even if it was soaked in cold water, it looked warm on the surface, but when it was eaten, it was unbearably hot in the stomach. That time, my esophagus was severely damaged, and my adoptive mother just stood there and watched coldly as I rolled on the ground and screamed. Moreover, she derived great pleasure from my painful expression. Cheng didn't understand why his boss suddenly said this. He suddenly felt that his boss was very pitiful when he was young. Therefore, he gritted his teeth and said, "Boss, I'll kill your mother for you." No, that's not what I want to say. What I want to say is that I suffered so much, but I didn't die. I came back to life. I knew that God wanted me to live for another reason. Until one day, I saw my Huamin. When he spoke of Huamin, Hua Xiqian's lips curled up into the warmest smile. Even the people around him rarely saw such a warm smile on his face. Chapter 28:19. I know. Boss really likes Miss Hua. Cheng nodded in agreement. It's not as simple as that. It's a kind of love that eats away at your heart and rots your bones. Do you believe it?
Yes.
I've always thought that if Mian was by my side, she wouldn't have suffered so much pain and suffering. Qin Chu is too soft-hearted, and he can't bring himself to be cruel to those who hurt Mian. That's why I think he doesn't really love Mian. He's just trying to maintain his image as a good person. Suyu is the same. He keeps saying that he loves Mian and that he wants her best, but he's always around her and never married her. To a certain extent, he's adding a lot of burden and guilt to Mian's heart. They don't really love her. They just love themselves more. Since they both want to be good people, then I'll naturally be the bad guy. Isn't that how it's played out in TV shows? If there's a positive, then there's a villain. I don't mind being that annoying villain. As long as I can win over Mian in the end, then everything I've done over the years will be worth it. Hua Xiqian rarely talked to his subordinates like this. However, thinking about it carefully, he didn't have any real friends over the years. If he didn't talk to his subordinates, who else would he talk to? Qin Chu had Gao Rand and Rick. Suyu had Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. Even Jing Zhixin and Ai Yang and the others had a few trustworthy friends. Hua Xiqian was the only one who didn't love the woman by his side, and he didn't pursue money and benefits. All these years, his obsession was Huamin. However, he was really at his wit's end when it came to Huamin. After so many years, he had used up all his methods. However, he still couldn't win her over to his side. Originally, he thought that his scheme last time was flawless. Killing Song Yisher would not only get rid of that scheming bitch, but also shift the blame to Qin Chu, killing two birds with one stone. However, Suyu appeared out of nowhere. He was a righteous man who ignored other people's opinions and took in the pregnant Huamin in Suyu's house. Until the birth of the twins, only Hua Xiqian himself knew how bitter it was that his many years of planning had ended up in someone else's hands. Whenever Huamin was in danger, he was more nervous than anyone else. The last time Ian came here, he met Huamin alone. Hua Xiqian was prepared to shed all pretense of cordiality with Huamin on the spot. He also wanted to ensure Huamin's safety. Unfortunately, his sister had always been dismissive of him. She didn't even look at him now. Huamin was directly on Qin Chu's side. They were going to deal with him together. Boss, Miss Hu will understand in the future. She will understand your heart, Cheng advised. My Mian already wants to kill me. I know that. Hua Xiqian smiled faintly. Miss Hu won't want to kill you. After all, you used to be family. I think she just wants to stand on her husband's side, that's why. But it's okay. I don't blame her. In this world, only she can get my forgiveness, no matter how she hurts me. Cheng was silent after hearing this. His eyes even looked a little confused. He had never liked someone so much, so he couldn't understand his boss's almost crazy state for a woman. Cheng. Yes, boss? How are the wedding preparations going? Everything is ready, but Miss Yen doesn't seem to be in a good mood. Cheng replied carefully. Chapter 28:20. Don't worry about her. She's just a pawn. Hua Xiqian didn't seem to care about any woman other than Huamin. Yes, but I'm worried. When Cheng said this, he hesitated. Go on. Hua Xiqian finished his breakfast and wiped his mouth elegantly with a tissue. Boss, I'm worried that Jack will come out and cause trouble. That would be bad. You know how he is. Cheng told Hua Xiqian about his split personality. It was taboo for him, and no one would talk about it. Jack's brother? No. He won't have a chance to come out. I recently increased the dosage. Hua Xiqian was full of confidence. Boss, didn't the doctor say that the dosage can't be increased anymore? I think you can go back and see Dr. Matthew, okay?
We don't have much time left.
I finally got an extra week from Ian because I don't want any accidents to happen at the wedding. But Aching seemed to have something he didn't want to say. No buts. This time, we must succeed. Qin Chu and I have to fight. If we win, I can get what I want. If we lose, the worst that can happen is death. When Hua Xiqian said this, his expression was very calm, as if life and death were no big deal to him. Boss, you won't lose. You will win. After all, this is the big plan we've been thinking about for years. Aching tried to boost his confidence. GK headquarters. Zhang Manlin appeared at the door of the president's office in a sexy suit. Bella just came out of the office after delivering the documents. She immediately looked at her with disgust. Good morning, Sister Bella. Why are you looking for the president? He's in a meeting, Bella said coldly. I know. I won't take up too much of his time. If there's anything, you can talk to me and Director Jing. Don't trouble President Qin. He's so busy every day and doesn't have time to worry about these small things. But there are some things that I want to talk to President Qin in private, Zhang Manlin provoked slightly. Zhang Manlin, you know very well how you got into the company. You must know how to be grateful and cherish your opportunities. Don't do anything that will bring shame to yourself. You're a woman in your 20s and you're not married yet. Don't let people criticize you behind your back. That's not good. I hope you can do good for your parents. Hee, big sister Bella, isn't our company in charge of our employees' work? Since when did you teach us how to behave? Bella didn't know what to say. Besides, even if it's education, it's not up to you, Sister Bella. You're also an unmarried woman. You don't even know how to behave yourself. What right do you have to teach me? I respect you, and I'm giving you face by calling you sister. But don't be so shameless. I, Zhang Manlin, am not that easy to bully. Zhang Manlin, how can you talk to me like that? I'm your boss. Bella was so angry that she couldn't breathe. She didn't expect Zhang Manlin to be so arrogant. Moreover, it was in front of President Qin's office. Superior?
You?
I'm really sorry. I only have one boss, President Qin. Some people don't know what's good for them and flatter themselves. You're just the president's brother-in-law's girlfriend. You really think you're something. Then, Zhang Manlin didn't wait for Bella's reply. She knocked on the door and walked into Qin Chu's office. Bella stood at the door with a sour expression. For the first time, she felt that Zhang Manlin wasn't easy to deal with because she was shameless. Chapter 28-21. President Qin. As soon as Zhang Manlin entered the room, she changed her expression completely. His angry glare and sarcastic words towards Bella were gone, replaced by a face full of smiles. What is it? Qin Chu lowered his head and didn't look at her. I have something to tell you. Go ahead. President Qin, can you listen to me carefully? Because what I'm about to say is really important. Zhang Manlin took the initiative to ask Qin Chu to pay attention to her because she was important. However, Qin Chu didn't give her face. Instead, he replied coldly, You can talk. I'll look at my documents. It won't be a problem. Okay, President Qin. Here's the thing. I've decided to tell you something about Hua Xiqian's 5-year plan. Hua Xiqian's 5-year plan. Qin Chu couldn't help but raise his head when he heard this.
Yes.
Hua Xiqian found me 5 years ago and asked me to imitate Humin. Then, I purposely appeared to get close to you and confuse you. All of this was just to pave the way for the 5-year plan. What's the 5-year plan? Qin Chu asked. It's embarrassing to talk about it because you know Hua Xiqian. He's very suspicious. Other than his confidant Aching, he doesn't trust anyone. So, Qin Chu raised his eyebrows. So, I don't know the details of the 5-year plan. I only know that he might use some method to deal with you, and then kidnap Humin. Because Hua Xiqian always said that he likes your wife, Humin, very much, Zhang Manlin said. You sure know a lot. Qin Chu said coldly. Not a lot. I just know that he has a warehouse at Golden Harbor. There are a lot of weapons in there. Because he had a good relationship with customs, no one checked it. I've never been there, and I don't know how many there are. One time, I accidentally heard one of his subordinates mention it. But as far as I know, it should be heavy weapons. I don't know if they're explosives or something like that. So, President Qin, you have to be careful. I'm curious. Why are you suddenly telling me this? Qin Shu looked at Zhang Manlin and asked expressionlessly. I'm not afraid that you'll laugh at me. I'm at the end of the road. Although you arranged bodyguards to protect me, Huasiqian's people think that I'm a traitor. So I decided to tell you everything I know. I just hope that President Qin can send more people to protect me. I'm really afraid that Huasiqian will take revenge. He's always been very strict with traitors. I saved your daughter, so I hope that President Qin can protect me. After Zhang Manlin finished speaking, President Qin understood. This woman knew that she was in danger, so she told Qin Shu everything about Huasiqian. In exchange for Qin Shu's protection, she was obviously on Qin Shu's side. This was the true meaning of betrayal.
Protect you? Sure.
I've been sending people to protect you. Otherwise, you would have been strangled to death by Huasiqian's subordinates. I know. What I mean is, Huasiqian and Yan Ruashi's wedding is fake. It's just a smokescreen. I think he'll make his move soon. So, President Qin, you have to think of a way to fight back. The sooner you get rid of him, the better. I don't need you to teach me what to do, Qin Shu said. Chapter 28-22. Seeing Qin Shu's displeasure, Zhang Manlin quickly explained. President Qin, I'm not trying to teach you what to do. I've been working for Huasiqian for the past few years and know a lot of inside information. I want to help you get rid of him as soon as possible. But the information you provide isn't very valuable. As far as I know, the warehouse at Golden Harbor was a diversion. The weapons are no longer there. I'm quite interested in the 5-year plan, but unfortunately, you know too little, Qin Shu said slowly. Let me think. Oh, right, I think you can do this. Huasiqian trusts Aching the most, so he must know more. Since he's a trusted aide, I might not be able to get anything out of him even if I capture him. But I know that Aching adopted a little girl from an orphanage. I don't know if she's an illegitimate daughter, but he really loves her. He visits her every month and even saved a fund for her. I don't think even Huasiqian knows about this. You can capture the child and threaten him. Then he'll tell you everything. As long as Aching agrees, you can deal with Huasiqian without a problem. I don't implicate the innocent, especially children. Qin Shu's eyes were cold. Zhang Manlin looked like she was in her early 20s. How could she be so evil as to ask Qin Shu to kidnap a child? It was humiliating for a woman like her to have a face similar to Humin's. But if we do this, we have a good chance of winning. Okay, you can go now. I know what you said. I'll get someone to investigate. Qin Shu wasn't happy about Zhang Manlin's loyalty. Instead, he was even more indifferent to her. When Zhang Manlin walked out of the office, she began to feel uneasy. She didn't know if she was doing the right thing. At night, while Zhang Manlin was sleeping in the staff dorm, she began to have nightmares. She dreamed that Huasiqian held a dagger and slashed at her face. Since I gave you this face, I have the right to take it back. Brother Qian, no, I beg you. I don't want to go back to how I was before. I want to be Humin. Be a Humin? Hee, how can a woman like you be qualified to be Humin? After he finished speaking, Huasiqian swung his saber down and blood splattered everywhere. Startled, Zhang Manlin woke up from her sleep. She reached out and touched her forehead. It was covered in sweat. She gasped for air. Usually, there was a female employee who shared a room with her. Unfortunately, the female employee had gone back to her hometown recently, so she had taken annual leave. For some reason, Zhang Manlin thought it was scary to be alone in this empty room. She took out her phone and looked at the time. It was 1:30 in the morning. She pulled a tissue from the bedside table and wiped her face. Then she got out of bed and walked to the living room. Just as he was about to open the fridge, he heard a rustling sound from the window. Who is it? She turned around in horror. But no one answered her. Someone come. Where are the bodyguards? Where are the bodyguards? Zhang Manlin yelled as she opened the door. She even pressed the alarm. The piercing sound alerted the security guards in the dorm. A few security guards went upstairs to check and woke up all the other employees. Miss Zhang, no one came. You must have heard wrong, the security guard said. Impossible. There's definitely someone outside my window. But you live on the 18th floor. How could there be someone outside? Could it be a ghost? The security guard looked helpless. Some people must have done too many immoral things. That's why they're so scared, right? They say that if you don't do anything wrong, you won't be afraid of ghosts knocking on your door in the middle of the night. A few female colleagues whispered. Zhang Manlin clenched her teeth. Her face was pale. A black Honda business car was parked on the sidewalk outside the dorm. Boss, did you hear the conversation between this bitch and Qin Chu today? So we should teach her a lesson? Acheng couldn't wait any longer. Chapter 28-23. I used to think that this woman wasn't that stupid. Now I realize that she's just SOSO, Hua Xiqian commented. I knew she wasn't reliable. Whenever she sees Qin Chu, she looks like she's crazy about him.
How could she care about you?
Acheng said angrily. Looks like the girl I've raised for 5 years is just another good-for-nothing. Horse Xiqian smiled. There was a listening device in Qin Chu's office, so Horse Xiqian heard everything Zhang Manlin said about surrendering to Qin Chu. Acheng also heard it clearly. He was so angry that he wanted to kill that bitch. The child that Acheng adopted was the orphan of the couple that he killed while driving drunk a few years ago. She wasn't an illegitimate daughter. However, he was working for Hua Xiqian now, and was a bit of a vagrant. He didn't have a stable place to live, so he kept the child in the orphanage. He visited her once a month. The child was still young and didn't know anything. However, Zhang Manlin accidentally found out about the secret. It became her way of sucking up to Qin Chu. It was disgusting. Acheng didn't specifically tell Hua Xiqian about the child, but he didn't hide it from his boss either. Most importantly, Hua Xiqian didn't ask. Boss, I think even if we can't kill her, we should teach her a lesson. You've raised her for 5 years, but she just turned around and told Qin Chu the location of our warehouse. Not only is she trying to suck up to him, but she also wants Qin Chu to kill us. This woman has no conscience. Yeah, 5 years is a long time. Even a dog wouldn't want to leave its owner, right? Hua Xiqian sighed. So, please approve. Go. Do it quickly.
But don't let her die.
It'll be too comfortable if she dies too quickly. I don't want her to be that comfortable. Yes, boss. I'll do it. Acheng rubbed his hands together when Hua Xiqian agreed. He could finally teach that bitch a lesson. Southside Sanatorium Huamin was in a meeting the whole morning and felt dizzy. Ever since she was pregnant with her second child, she became tired easily. From time to time, he would feel weak and dizzy. However, it was true that President Wu did not come here much. Huamin handled all the major and minor matters here. It was not easy to manage such a large hospital, and Huamin was a Virgo workaholic. He was very eager to excel. He had always wanted to live up to the headmaster's trust. He had always wanted to do better. Southside had been named the best sanatorium in the country for 3 consecutive years. As its reputation grew, the number of patients increased. Huamin and the others' workload also increased by a lot. Deputy Director, someone is looking for you. A young nurse ran over to report. Where? It's in the consultation hall on the 1st floor. All right, I'll go take a look. Huamian was wearing a white lab coat and holding a notebook for her ward rounds. Her youthful face was calm and composed as usual. No one would have thought that such a young woman was the deputy director of Southside Sanatorium. She was already famous in the medical field. Mrs. Su. Huamin's heart warmed when he saw Su Yu's mother. He had been busy with work recently. Most of the time, Sue would take the twins to the Sue family for dinner. He and Chin Chu, on the other hand, went less and less often. Mion, I'm not interrupting your work, am I? Lady Sue smiled gently. No, Mrs. Sue.
Come upstairs with me.
Let's go. I haven't seen you in a while. I've missed you. Huamin did not hold any grudges. He took Lady Sue's arm and walked upstairs. Did you guys see that? That lady is young Master Sue's mother? She's also a beauty. A few young nurses whispered behind them. Chapter 28-24. Yeah, Lady Sue is so gentle and magnanimous. No wonder she's a rich lady. She's not someone those nouveau riche wives can compare to. Young Master Sue is so handsome because he takes after his mother. Anyway, I heard that Lady Sue likes our vice director a lot. What a pity. If only the vice director was the daughter-in-law of the Sue family. It's not a pity. The vice director's husband is even more handsome and talented. Vice principal has such a good life. She's a role model for us women. She comes from an ordinary family and didn't go to a famous school. Most importantly, she doesn't have a face that can cause the downfall of a country. But there are so many outstanding men who like her. They're all dead set on her. That's why a woman's inner qualities are very important. If she's just a pretty face, I'm afraid any man will get sick of her, right? Look at the hostesses in the nightclubs. All of them have thin legs, thin waists, perky faces, and perky buttocks. Their figures are so beautiful, and they speak in a coquettish voice. But aren't they still reduced to prostitutes? Yes, yes, yes. Look at the ancient times. Those who are especially beautiful are mostly famous prostitutes in the brothels. The real ladies of noble families and the lucky madams are all women who stay at home. They are extremely sophisticated and intelligent women. Our vice principal is very smart and low-key. If I were a man, I would like her too. The nurse was more interested in gossiping about Huamin's private affairs in the lounge next to the conference room upstairs. Huamin personally poured a glass of water for Lady Sue. Mrs. Sue, drink some water. Don't be so polite. Mion, come, sit down. Lady Sue patted the empty seat next to her and smiled at Huamin. I haven't seen you in a while. The last time I had dinner at your house was when the children came back safely. But there were too many people at that time, so I wasn't in a hurry to chat with you. You're usually busy with work, so I could only come to the hospital to see you. I heard from Suyu that you went to Jing City a while ago. Yes, the old man isn't feeling very well over there. He was directly hospitalized by the capital city military hospital for observation. Your father, Sue, and I were worried, so we both flew over to take a look. Is there something wrong with Lord Sue's body? Are you all right? I'm fine. It's just that I'm old and my blood sugar and blood pressure are high. It's an old problem. Master Lord Sue is really eager to excel. Actually, at this age, he should have retired long ago. Huamin said. He wants to, but he can't stay idle. You is a disappointment. He's not married and doesn't have any children. Grandpa is bored when he comes back and can't stay. When it came to Suyu, Huamin's expression was a little unnatural. He was too embarrassed to say more. By the way, Mion, I heard from you that you're pregnant?
Yes.
How long has it been? Lady Sue was delighted. It's only been 2 months. You can't tell. Huamin pursed his lips and smiled. Oh, then why are you still working so hard? You should be at home taking care of the baby. Why are you still working? It's okay. I'm not that delicate. There are a lot of things to do in the hospital. I'm not feeling uncomfortable yet. It's not like I'm going into labor. You're a smart girl. Oh, by the way, this is for you. It's top-grade bird's nest from Malaysia. You're having a hard time with your second child. You need to eat more. Lady Sue placed the gift box in Huamin's hand.
Thank you, Mrs. Sue.
Huamin's heart warmed. Mion, I want you to participate in a dating show. As soon as Lady Sue spoke, Huamin almost choked. Chapter 28-25. Mion, you're surprised? Seeing Huamin's reaction, Lady Sue asked with a smile. Ahem, Mrs. Su. Dating show. Isn't this a bit too much? But I have no other choice. There are so many actresses under Imperial Star, but you doesn't even look at them. When he arranges blind dates, he finds excuses to eliminate them. You're so old. You're even younger than you, and already a mother of two. If I don't do anything and let him do as he pleases, his father and I won't be able to see our grandchildren until we're dead. Mrs. Su, about the dating show. Isn't it too much? It's okay. It's okay. I'm familiar with the leaders of the TV station, and we're going to do a celebrity dating show here. We'll invite 12 single men and women from various industries and divide them into 6 groups. Then we'll play games and go to summer camps. During the process, it's very easy to develop feelings for each other. It's much better than traditional blind dates. At least it's not stiff. RU is a famous man, and I saw that the invited female guests are all highly educated returnees, female scientists, and even female soldiers. They're all very outstanding. Then will Su agree? That's why I came to you. You want me to persuade him, but he might not listen to me. Hwamin always thought it was immoral to force Su to do something. I'm not asking you to persuade him. I just think you should mention it to him when you have time. See what he thinks and ask him. I don't think he'll agree to something like this. Hwamin knew Su well. Would someone as arrogant as him participate in the most popular reality show? He didn't lack money or fame. He had his own company and was very busy. How would he have time to play games with the female guests? I'll give it a try. It's better than doing nothing. Okay, I'll mention it when I see him. Hwamin couldn't refuse Lady Su's request. I knew you'd agree.
Thank you, Mian.
Mrs. Su, what's the show called? When will it start filming? I think it's called Being With You. The TV station said that they'll start filming once they finalize the final guest list. The filming locations will be local hot springs, resorts, camping in the mountains, and eating local delicacies. I'm very interested in it. I heard that one of the female guests is an Olympic gymnastics champion. Oh, that girl is very pretty, has a good figure, and a cheerful personality. It'll be great if you can be in the same group as her. Ahem, let's persuade Su first. Hwamian thought Mrs. Su's idea was too imaginative. He actually thought so far ahead that he even made gymnasts out of it. Sweat dripping. All right, then it's settled. Let me know if you have any news. I'll try my best, Mrs. Su. After Mian, Hua, Mian Hwamin, Mian's Mimian, and Mian. It seemed like she had to take it slow in persuading Su to go on the dating show. Otherwise, once Su got angry, she would be scolded. 8 p.m. Zhang Manlin attended the business cocktail party with an invitation from her company. Zhang Manlin always thought that Qin Chu thought highly of her, so she wore an off-shoulder peacock blue evening gown to show off her sexiness. However, when she arrived, she realized that Qin Chu didn't come at all. Only a few company executives were there. During the dinner, she got up and went to the washroom. When she came out, she was washing her hands when someone suddenly covered her mouth and pulled her hair to the side. Chapter 28-26. Save me, save me. Zhang Manlin realized that no matter how much she screamed, she couldn't make a sound, because his mouth was covered tightly by someone. Then, she smelled a strange smell, and her mind went blank. Her head tilted, and she completely lost consciousness. She was woken up by a bucket of cold water. When she woke up again, she found that she was tied tightly to a round cement pillar. Around her was a pitch-black abandoned factory. Bitch, I finally caught you. Hearing this, Zhang Manlin raised her head and saw Ching sitting in front of her. Behind him stood 4 men. Seeing Ching, Zhang Manlin felt a buzz in her head. She knew that this man hated her to death. Big brother Ching, she said weakly. Shut the fuck up. Who's your fucking brother? Shameless. Traitor. I hate traitors the most in my life. Ching scolded with extreme disdain. Big brother Ching, there really is a misunderstanding. I'm not a traitor. Zhang Manlin was still arguing. Misunderstanding? Haha. Here, listen to this. Ching pressed a button on his phone and played a recording. When Zhang Manlin heard her own voice, she was immediately stunned. It was a private conversation between her and Qin Shu in his office. But why did Cheng have this recording? Did Qin Shu give it to him? For a moment, Zhang Manlin's mind was in a mess. You probably didn't know that our boss had installed listening devices in Qin Shu's office and even in Qin Shu's home, right? So, the recording of your loyalty to Qin Shu, our boss heard it clearly. I also heard it clearly. Big brother Cheng, it's not like that. Listen to me. I actually said that on purpose. In order to gain Qin Shu's trust, I didn't betray brother Qian. I'm still on your side. Zhang Manlin's brain worked fast. At this time, she was still finding excuses for herself. Unfortunately, Cheng wasn't someone who would listen to her excuses so easily. In his heart, he already hated her to the core. Do you think I'm an idiot? You still want to quibble at this time? Let me tell you, the boss is very disappointed in you. Brother Qian, where is he? I want to see him. I have something to say to him. Zhang Manlin was so scared that her face turned pale. She kept asking to see Qian. Do you think the boss will still be willing to see you now? Why don't you take a look at yourself? Let me tell you, the boss said he's been raising a good-for-nothing for 5 years. I think you're an ungrateful wretch. You took the boss's money and did plastic surgery to look like Miss Hua. Unfortunately, you only look like her on the outside, but you're far inferior to Miss Hua on the inside. Now that you've become successful, you even betrayed the boss and tried to kill him. Bitch Zhang, who gave you the courage to do that, huh? After saying this, Cheng got up and walked over, pinching Zhang Manlin's chin and scolding her. Brother Cheng, I know I was wrong. Please let me go, okay? Give me a chance to change my ways. Seeing that Cheng had exposed her, she started to give in and say nice things. Let you go? How's that possible? Do you know how hard it was for us to catch you? Now that you don't have Qin Shu's people to protect you, let's see who's going to save you. Big brother, let us have some fun. This bitch has a nice body. The big men behind him were eager to have a go and asked Cheng for his opinion. Hearing this, Zhang Manlin was so scared that her face turned pale. Chapter 28-27. Big brother Cheng, please don't do it, Zhang Manlin begged. Have you never seen a woman before? How can you touch a scheming bitch like her? Aren't you afraid of getting sick? Cheng turned around and scolded his men. They lowered their heads and didn't dare to make a sound. Boss told me to do as I see fit, but I'll spare your life. It's too comfortable to just kill you. Zhang Manlin looked at Cheng in horror. She knew it was over. No one would come to save her. You guys do it. Disfigure her face. No, don't touch my face. Zhang Manlin screamed hysterically. Her face, which resembled Huamian's, had once made her feel superior. She even thought that Qin Shu would fall in love with her. That wasn't your face to begin with. 5 years ago, boss paid for the best plastic surgeon to make you more beautiful, but what about you? How did you repay him? Big brother Cheng, I'll never do it again. I swear, don't treat me like that, okay? Zhang Manlin cried. What are you waiting for? Do it, Cheng ordered. The men slowly walked toward Zhang Manlin with daggers in their hands. Don't do this to me. Zhang Manlin cried until she was out of breath. Then, with a scream, a deep cut appeared on Zhang Manlin's cheek. Blood slowly flowed down her white cheeks. Then, there was another cut, and another, and another, and another. Zhang Manlin was in so much pain that she couldn't feel anything. She passed out completely. Big brother Cheng, that's enough. After the men finished speaking, Cheng turned around and looked at Zhang Manlin's bloody face. He sneered, "This is what a bitch deserves. What should we do next? Leave her outside the GK Corporation as a warning to Qin Shu." Yes. Then, a few big men carried the unconscious Zhang Manlin into a van with a license plate. Then, they left her outside the GK Corporation and left. When the security guard on the night shift saw this, he immediately called the police and an ambulance. The next morning, the news of Zhang Manlin's disfigurement spread throughout the company. However, Qin Shu did not visit him. He only sent his senior officials to visit him symbolically. Miss Zhang, What happened last night? Did you see the murderer's face clearly? We've already called the police. The police will deal with it. Zhang Manlin's face was wrapped in white cloth like a mummy's. Just as she was about to say it, she hesitated. Last night, she vaguely remembered Aching mentioning that if she dared to tell the police about it, he would punish her. In that case, all his family members in the countryside would be in danger. There was no doubt about Hua Xiqian's methods. He was definitely someone who would do anything. So, Zhang Manlin changed her words. No, I didn't see his face clearly. I was knocked out. Then, do you have any enemies recently? Behind the executive, a police officer was holding a notebook and preparing to take a statement. No, Zhang Manlin denied in a low voice. If that's the case, it's probably just some robbers who want to kill you for your money. You're a girl, so be careful when you walk around at night. The police officer asked a few more questions and left. Where's President Qin? Why didn't he come to see me? After the police left, Zhang Manlin looked at the executive and asked. Chapter 28. President Qin is very busy. He just attended the opening ceremony of the new building in the development zone. He asked me to come see you and tell you to take care of yourself. The company will pay for you. You guys can leave. I don't want to see you. Zhang Manlin was furious, but she couldn't do anything about it. Miss Zhang, get out. I told you to get out. Why aren't you leaving? Zhang Manlin exploded. You guys can leave first. It's normal for a patient to be emotionally unstable after experiencing something like this, the doctor comforted. You guys get out too. All of you get out. Zhang Manlin yelled at the doctor. We're your medical staff. No need. All of you get out. After everyone left, Zhang Manlin took out her phone and turned on the camera. She looked at her face. Then, she screamed and smashed her phone into pieces. The news of Zhang Manlin's disfigurement spread like wildfire in the company. During lunch, Bella and Jixin sat across from each other. Karma sure comes fast.
Yeah.
That woman probably dug her own grave. She's so two-faced and probably has a lot of enemies. Jixin also hated Zhang Manlin. That's great. We don't have to worry about her hanging around President Qin. By the way, did you know? Assistant Yang is coming back soon. That's great news. Our company is back to normal. No, I have to tell my sister this good news. Then, Jixin sent a voice message to Huamin. Sis, come out. Come out. What's up? What are you doing? Sis. In the hospital cafeteria. What a coincidence. We're eating too. Cut the crap. What's up? Tell me. Huamian knew that Jixin must have something to tell her since he was in such a hurry. Good news. Something happened to Zhang Manlin. Oh, about that I know. What? You know? Yeah. When the company's security found her last night, they called Qin Chu, and I knew. If you know, why are you so quiet? What else can I do? Set off firecrackers to celebrate? Huamin replied with a smile while eating. No, I think, at the very least, you should make a happy post on your WeChat moments or something. For example, say the most classic sentence, good and evil will be repaid, and karma will be reincarnated. Look up if you don't believe me. Who will the heavens spare? That's not my style, Huamin denied.
Sigh, that's right.
My sister is so low-key. She wouldn't post something like that on her WeChat moments where she gloats over other people's misfortune. Moreover, if someone were to find out about it, they would definitely talk about it. I was thinking too simply. But sister, this time, it's really satisfying. All right, eat your food. Huamin had expected Zhang Manlin to be in trouble. After they escaped from the kidnappers, the twins' attitude changed drastically, and they strongly recommended Zhang Manlin to their parents. He even claimed that she was his savior and allowed her to enter the company. All of this had been a trap to begin with. It was a trap that Pudding set up for Zhang Manlin. Later, Pudding and Little Bean told him everything that had happened in the mountains. That woman, Zhang Manlin, was extremely heartless. In order to protect herself, she betrayed her children. Qin Chu wanted to get rid of her at that time, but Pudding said that she didn't need her daddy's help. She had a way to get rid of her. Thus, Zhang Manlin betrayed Hua Xiqian. Disfigurement was the lightest punishment. With Hua Xiqian's temper, Zhang Manlin would have a lot of bad luck in the future. Just then, Siyu sent a WeChat message. Dr. Hua, I'm at Southside. Don't you have something to say to me? Is it convenient for me to come find you now? Thinking of Suyu, Huamin felt awkward. How was he going to tell him about the dating show? If he tried to persuade him to go on a dating show, would he scold him? Chapter 28-29.
Sure.
I'm at the cafeteria. Have you eaten yet? Do you want to eat? Sure. Wait for me. I'll be there soon. Not long after Suyu sent the message, he parked his car and went upstairs. Suyu's black Lamborghini was very ostentatious. Many nurses knew it was young Master Su's car just by looking at the license plate. Ever since Suyu fell in love with Huamin, Southside was almost flat because of him. Wow, young Master Su is here. He's so handsome in person. I don't know how lucky the actresses at Imperial Star are to see such a handsome boss every day. No need to ask. Young Master Su must be here to see our vice director. Yeah. I'm so jealous that the vice director can be good friends with young Master Su. The nurses on the first floor chatted with each other like crazy. Some of them even walked up to him and told him, Young Master Su, our vice director is at the cafeteria. I know. Suyu smiled and nodded. Then he continued walking. The cafeteria opened at 11 a.m. and lasted for 2 hours until 1 a.m. Many medical staff and hospital staff ate here. Sometimes, patients even bought their own prepaid cards to eat here. Huamin was usually the last one to arrive. There were fewer people at this time, so there was still room to sit and stand. Although there weren't many people, Suyu still caused a commotion when he walked in. Suyu liked to wear Versace casual clothes. He liked plain white, which was a clean color. White short-sleeve shirt, beige casual pants, Lamborghini keys in his hand, and a black 7P cell phone. He was the epitome of a rich and handsome man. This way. Huamin raised his hand and said to Suyu. Suyu walked over. What are you cooking today? There are more than 10 dishes. What do you want to eat? Huamin asked with a smile. Suyu glanced at Huamin's plate. Stir-fried pork with black fungus, yellow croaker with black bean sauce, stir-fried broccoli, and roasted pork ribs. Not bad. I'll eat yours. After that, Suyu brought Huamin's plate over. Hey, I already ate that. Huamin was implying that she didn't think he was dirty. What are you afraid of? You don't have bird flu. Suyu glanced at Huamin and retorted. Alright. Ha, you scoundrel. Even talking back to me is so sonorous and forceful. Huamin smiled helplessly. He got up and swiped his card to buy another set of food. He also scooped a lot of rice because he knew that Suyu had a big appetite. How is it? Any improvements? Huamin asked. Delicious, not bad, Suyu praised repeatedly. By the way, are you busy with the company recently? I'm busy. Didn't Little Bean and Pudding tell you? Our company signed a contract for a Qing Dynasty Palace drama. Other than the artists in our company, we also invited a few popular idols to join us. The production is huge, and I've been working on it. Oh, I also invited Pudding and Little Bean to guest star in the drama. What can they guest star in? Huamin was shocked. They can play the little princess of a prince's mansion. I've never heard of a prince in the Qing dynasty having twins. Huamian had read a lot of books, including the historical records. She vaguely remembered that there were very few records about twins. It doesn't matter. The audience doesn't care if there are twins or not. As long as the drama is good, it's fine. Then, aren't you changing history? Huamian retorted. Chapter 28-30. So what? If it doesn't work, I won't use the Qing dynasty. I'll just use the background. Okay, you win. Anyway, I'll make sure the twins have a good time. Yesterday, I took them to the audition and they looked really good. You don't know how cute they are with makeup on. Suyu seemed to be in a good mood and kept talking to Huamin about the company. Huamin thought that Suyu was so busy that he shouldn't talk about the dating show. But, thinking of Su Yu's mother's advice, Humin decided to give it a try. Hey, what do you think of the reality show? Reality show? It's not bad. Isn't it very popular now? Many artists don't even take on TV shows and movies. I heard that last year, an A-list male star joined a reality show and his net worth was 48 million. It's easy to make money, so you commented as the boss of a film and television company and an insider. Then have you ever thought of going on a reality show? Humin continued to probe.
Me?
Suyu was slightly surprised. Haha, are you kidding? That's what artists do. Why should I, the boss of a company, join in the fun? I don't want fans or fame. No, I saw a parent-child show 2 years ago. The boss of a film and television company brought his son to the show. I think it's very meaningful. You can give it a try and give yourself more experience. Forget it. Why is a reality show called a reality show? It's just a show. It's not real. Don't take it seriously. Some TV stations force couples in order to make the show popular. Some deliberately create rumors about actors and actresses, and some even do it for kids. It's disgusting. These people will do anything for ratings and money. Plus, reality shows have scripts and must be designed according to the scripts. I don't know if you've seen a dating show before. They invited an A-list female star and a C-list male star to be a couple, but the response wasn't great. Not long after, the female star announced that she was married to another male star. That's the effect of the show's failure. I think it's quite boring. To be honest, I don't recommend my employees to participate in reality shows because their acting skills will deteriorate. Actors are actors because they want to act, not because they want to be a vase. What the audience wants is the feeling of being fully immersed in a TV show. They don't want to see you jump between scenes. Do you understand? You're right, President Su. I understand. Humin. It was the first time he had seen Suyu give such a long speech in such a professional manner. His expression was adorable. Hey, it's an occupational hazard. I often say things like this in meetings. Don't take it to heart, haha. No, I'm just giving you a suggestion. Why are you suddenly thinking about reality shows? And why are you asking so much? Don't tell me, you want Chin-Chu to take the kids to a parent-child reality show? Suyu laughed. Of course not. With Mr. Chin's personality, do you think he'll agree? Humin shook his head. Don't tell me you want me to take the twins to a parent-child reality show? Haha, no. Don't think too much. Humin couldn't stop laughing. Su Yu's imagination was really wild. Then what did you want to talk to me about? Su Yu finished eating and wiped his mouth with a napkin. I wanted to ask if you have a girlfriend, okay? Humin smiled awkwardly. Chapter 28:31.
No. Why?
Are you going to introduce me to someone?
No.
Then why are you asking? I care about you. If you care about me, then divorce Chin-Chu and marry me. Humin. Ha. I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I know. Okay. You really don't have anything else to talk to me about? Nothing else. Seeing Suyu's aversion to reality shows, Humin didn't want to say anything else. He knew he'd be rejected anyway.
Okay.
Then I'll treat it as a free meal from Dr. Hua.
Sure.
You're always welcome. Humin smiled.
Okay.
I'll leave you to it. I'll go now, okay? Oh, right. I just remembered something. Suyu walked a few steps and suddenly remembered something, so he turned back around. What is it? In 3 days, Hui Yanyan's mother, Xin Jiani's case will be heard, right? Yes. Will you and Chin-Chu be there? Suyu asked.
No.
I don't have time. I have an operation in 3 days. Plus, Chin-Chu said, I don't need to go. He won't go either. If that's the case, then Chin-Chu must have made arrangements. I'm relieved. Otherwise, I would have helped you get rid of that scumbag. No need. Mr. Chin must have made arrangements. Okay. I trust Chin-Chu. Suyu nodded and left with his car keys. It was just a simple meal. Humin didn't say anything else. Zhang Manlin was admitted to the first hospital. Ever since she was admitted, no one came to see her except for people from the company. She didn't have many friends, so she felt especially lonely at this time. The twins showed up at the first hospital in the afternoon with their driver and bodyguards. Pudding told her to go directly, but Little Bean insisted on buying a bunch of chrysanthemums. There were white and yellow chrysanthemums. They were beautiful, but they looked a little scary. Outside Zhang Manlin's room, the twins didn't even knock before entering. "Who is it?" She turned around, her face covered in bandages. "Oh my God, Annie Zhang. What happened to you? You're wrapped up like a mummy." Little Bean ran over and exclaimed, "What are you doing here?" There were no outsiders here, so Zhang Manlin's tone was harsh. She didn't like the twins and had once wanted to kill them. "Of course I'm here to see you. I heard something happened to you. What's wrong? Why is your face covered? Did someone beat you up?" Little Bean tried not to laugh. Before Zhang Manlin could say anything, Pudding continued, "Miss Zhang, now that I've seen your situation, I truly believe that good and evil will always be rewarded."
What do you mean by that?
Zhang Manlin sat up and yelled at the two kids. "It's obvious. Don't pretend that you don't understand. There are no outsiders here. Back in the mountains, you betrayed us to protect yourself. You know very well, don't you?" Okay, I finally understand now. I was wondering why you were so kind to let me come to the company and even told your dad that I saved you. It was all a trap." Zhang Manlin finally realized what was going on. "Oh my God. You just figured it out? You need money to fix your brain. Your IQ is worrying." Little Bean covered her mouth and laughed. Pudding looked at Zhang Manlin calmly and said, "Good and evil are separated by a single thought. Miss Zhang, if you had saved us in Taoyuan village and sent us back to my dad, none of this would have happened. Unfortunately, you were always greedy and wanted to use us to get benefits. In the end, you ended up like this. So, it looks like Qin knows that you and your daughter are just putting on an act, right?" Zhang Manlin was furious when she found out the truth. Chapter 2832. "Actually, Miss Zhang, you should thank me. It was my idea that allowed you to live until now. If it were up to my daddy, you would have been a corpse by now." Zhang Manlin was speechless. "Do you really think my daddy is interested in you? You're so shameless. Why don't you look at yourself in the mirror? Do you really think a fake product can imitate my mommy? Do you think you can imitate the things in my mommy's bones? My daddy and mommy have seen through your little scheme. To them, you're just a clown who doesn't know her own limits. I really pity you." Little Bean mocked. "Your whole family dared to set me up. You'll all die a horrible death." Realizing that she had been set up, Zhang Manlin went completely crazy.
"I'm sorry."
"You're the one who's going to die a horrible death. Here, take your flowers." Then, Little Bean placed all the chrysanthemums in her hands beside Zhang Manlin's bed and took out her phone to take pictures. "Here, smile. Look here. Say eggplant." Little Bean took pictures with her phone. Zhang Manlin picked up a glass of water from the table and threw it at Little Bean's head. The bodyguard behind her reacted quickly and caught it with his bare hands.
"Good job."
"Throw it back," Little Bean ordered. The bodyguard didn't say anything and threw the glass back. Zhang Manlin's head exploded. "Help! Help! Someone is trying to kill me." Zhang Manlin's screams immediately attracted the attention of many medical staff. "What happened?" the doctor asked. "They want to kill me and set me up. Call the police and arrest them," Zhang Manlin yelled. The doctor and nurse turned around and saw a pair of adorable twins standing there, their eyes dazed and adorable. "Uncle Doctor, we're here to visit Auntie Zhang. She seems to be traumatized, and her brain isn't working well. I suggest that you transfer her to a mental hospital for treatment after her wounds heal. The results will be better." Little Bean blinked her big eyes and said innocently, "Looks like she's really sick. What a pity. She was fine, but she dug her own grave." Pudding sighed. "Don't listen to their nonsense. I'm telling you, these two brats are very smart. They're very scheming. Don't be fooled by these two brats." Zhang Manlin scolded fiercely. However, no one believed Zhang Manlin. "Miss Zhang, We understand that your emotions are unstable right now, but you can't do anything to the child. You should rest first. Scram. All of you scram. None of you are good people. The arrival of the twins sent Zhang Manlin into a frenzy. When they came out, Pudding was quite satisfied and had a smile on her face the entire time. Little Bean video chatted with Gao Buiyuan and gossiped.
Did you see that?
That's bitch Zhang. She's been trying to hurt me and my sister. She even tried to seduce my daddy. Look at her. Yeah, she's nothing compared to Annie Humin. Gao Buiyuan agreed. Ahem. Qin Mumu, can you not be so obvious when you're talking about love? Aren't you embarrassed to say this in front of me? Pudding glanced at her from the corner of her eyes. If you don't like it, you can video chat with Wei Yunqiu, Little Bean retorted. Pudding. Sis, this time we've completely offended bitch Zhang. Should we do something more aggressive? Otherwise, when she comes back to life, she'll definitely come after us again, Little Bean asked. Chapter 28-33. Don't worry. This time, I won't let bitch Zhang come back to life, Pudding said confidently. Sis, are you going to kill someone? Is it illegal to kill someone? Little Bean pretended to be surprised. Idiot. What day and age are we living in? Who would still do something illegal? Our method of killing someone with a borrowed knife is pretty good. Although I don't know why that big bad Huasiqian didn't kill Zhang Manlin directly, I have a feeling that she won't live for long. Plus, living is torture. So, sis, you're saying that the last time we saw bitch Zhang was the last time? Little Bean asked with a smile.
Yeah.
Wow, perfect. I feel so much better now that the thorn in my side is gone. The twins walked out of the hospital with swagger. On the other hand, Hui Yanyan's mother's case was about to go to court. She was at her wit's end. After that day, Shin Mingxi didn't come back, and they broke up. But this time, she didn't know if it was out of spite or out of sincerity. Hui Yanyan was angry that Shin Mingxi didn't help her, so she refused to admit her mistake. She even blocked Shin Mingxi's WeChat and phone number. I thought you didn't want to come back to this house?
Haha, fine.
Even if you want to come back, I won't let you. This isn't a kindergarten where you can come and go as you please. Tomorrow I'll change all the locks and throw your things out, Hui Yanyan said as she smashed Shin Mingxi's ashtray on the floor. Mommy, why isn't Uncle Shin back yet? I miss him so much, Tian said as she pulled on her mother's arm.
Don't think about it.
He doesn't even care about us. Why do you miss him? Plus, he's not your biological father. Mommy will find you a richer man in the future. The more Hui Yanyan thought about it, the angrier she got. Everything she said was out of anger. I don't want to. I like Uncle Shin. Uncle Shin treats Tian so well. He even buys delicious food and dolls for Tian. You're still a child after all. You were bribed with just a little favor. Tian, let me tell you, your Uncle Shin won't come back. He doesn't want us anymore. He's willing to be a coward and ignore your grandmother. I don't want to live with such a man. Don't mention him in the future. After that, Hui Yanyan carried her daughter downstairs. She first drove her daughter to the kindergarten and then contacted Lawyer Wang's assistant. Then, he made an appointment to meet Lawyer Wang again. Law firm. When Hui Yanyan went in, Lawyer Wang seemed to know that she would come back, so he had a lecherous smile on his face. How is it, Miss Hui? Have you thought it through? Mr. Wang, I actually wanted to ask if I can pay you more. What kind of woman do you want? I can arrange it for you. Hui Yanyan wasn't an idiot. She thought of an idea. She would rather pay more than sleep with the old man. Oh, Miss Hui, to be honest, although I'm not a famous lawyer now, I don't lack money. As for women, I can have as many as I want. Most importantly, Miss Hui, your temperament really attracts me. So I thought even if it's just once, I'm willing to do it. As he spoke, Lawyer Wang's hand slowly moved to Hui Yanyan's thigh. Then, it moved up and down. It was extremely disgusting. Hui Yanyan wanted to resist, but she knew that if she gave up, she wouldn't have another chance. Then, her mother wouldn't stand a chance either. So, she closed her eyes, gritted her teeth, and decided to sacrifice this one time. Chapter 2834. Seeing that Hui Yanyan wasn't resisting, the old pervert became even more brazen. He placed his other hand on Hui Yanyan's chest. Hui Yanyan's other hand wasn't idle either. Being touched by an old pervert, Hui Yanyan didn't like it. But at the thought of opening a way out for her mother, she forced herself to endure. Just as Mr. Wang leaned over and kissed Hui Yanyan's lips, the office door was flung open. "Hey, I told you can't go in. How can you do this? I'll call security," Mr. Wang's assistant yelled. Hui Yanyan and Mr. Wang turned around. A young man stood at the door and looked at Hui Yanyan with an extremely cold gaze. Mingxi. Hui Yanyan's mind went blank. Someone told me that you sold your body to save your mother, but I didn't believe it. I said that no matter how muddle-headed Yanyan was, she wouldn't do something so immoral. It seems I overestimated you. Hui Yanyan, you're good. You're awesome. Shen Mingxi sneered. Hui Yanyan pushed away the old pervert on top of her and stood up to explain. Mingxi, it's not like that. I didn't want to. But you know I had no choice, that's right. For your mother, you have no bottom line.
You can do anything.
You are very similar to your mother in this aspect. What do you mean? Hui Yanyan was furious. You know what I mean. I really regret being with you for so long, but I always thought you were a kind and virtuous girl. I didn't care when you got divorced, when you had kids, and when Wei Ying bullied you. I always believed that you were gentle and kind, but what about you? What you've done has disappointed me. Hui Yanyan, since you're such a scheming bitch, why are you still pretending to be a white lotus? I'm a white lotus? Hui Yanyan's lips twitched and sneered. Isn't that so? Although Wei Ying is arrogant, she's always made it obvious that she's domineering. You've always played the weak one, but in fact, you're the one who knows everything. You approached me with ulterior motives, didn't you? Suyu was right. You had ulterior motives for me from the very beginning. When your father was still alive, you probably wanted to marry me because you wanted to protect the shares that belonged to you and your mother. After that, you approached me because you wanted me to help you take revenge and deal with Hui Xiqian. Now, if I don't help you, you want to sell your body to an old and ugly man. Hui Yanyan, you're really scary. I'm scary? Who forced me to be like this? It's all because of you. If you hadn't refused to help me, would I have done this? Shen Mingxi, if I'm a scheming bitch, then you're not a good person either. We're in the same boat. Are you with me purely out of love? Isn't it because you're overflowing with compassion? You pity us and think that you're Jesus, a savior, a philanthropist. You're the greatest, and you're the only good person in the world, right? So, that's how you see me? Shen Mingxi's heart sank at this moment. How else should I see you? Hui Yanyan asked back. It seems I shouldn't have come today and interrupted your good time.
I'm sorry.
Let's continue. I hope you won't regret what you've done today. I wish you success in rescuing your mother. With that, Shen Mingxi turned around and walked away. Mingxi. Hui Yanyan called after him with a conflicted expression. Miss Hui, let's continue. I really like the black stockings you're wearing today. The old man hugged Hui Yanyan from behind and kissed her behind her ear. Chapter 2835. Hui Yanyan wanted to curse back at the old man and push him away with all her might. But she didn't have the courage. She still needed to ask him to help her with the lawsuit. Thinking about her mother, who was still in prison, Hui Yanyan gritted her teeth and acquiesced. That night, everyone who hadn't seen each other in a long time decided to meet at Chuxiang restaurant. Tang Chuan was a foodie and had sharp eyes. As soon as he heard that the new Hunan restaurant in the downtown area was delicious, he immediately booked a private room. Then, at 8:00, everyone was in place, including the children of each family. Chen Jia and Aniyang didn't drink much, so they helped take care of the twins, Wei Yunchu and Gao Buyuan. In the main seats sat Qin Chu, Huimin and Suyu, followed by Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling, Jiang Xiaowei, Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, and Qin Ning. Huimin originally wanted to invite Jixin and Bella, but he remembered that their relationship hadn't been made public yet, and it would be embarrassing if they came. So he gave up on the idea. I was wondering why we're having dinner today. Shun Jianni's court date is tomorrow. I think it's better to celebrate after her verdict. Gao Ran laughed. Director Gao, when you mentioned Xinjiani, I remembered a piece of gossip. Do you want to hear it? Give me 666 in the group if you want to hear it. Tang Chuan laughed. You're crazy about streaming. 666? You look like 888. Why don't you give me 250? Su Yu teased. Look at you, you don't understand? Streaming apps are everywhere, and it's so popular. All the streamers will do anything to make money. Last night, when I couldn't sleep, I saw a streamer digging up graves with a shovel in the middle of the night. Fuck. That level of excitement was 5 stars. What? You secretly watched a streamer stream last night? Humph. Qin Ning grabbed Tang Chuan's ear. Tang Chuan hurriedly explained, Oh my god, I only watch male streamers. Don't misunderstand. You don't know that I like to play games, so I occasionally watch game streamers and commentaries. Think about it, there are many female anchors who wear revealing clothes and act coquettishly. They keep saying that there's nothing wrong with brother, and thank you, brother. Then they earn more than 100,000 a month. What would the office workers who squeeze into public transport, subway trains, and work overtime think? If everyone quits to become anchors, wouldn't society be in chaos? Although Su Yu had a cheerful personality, he was still relatively conservative when it came to certain matters. Therefore, when it came to criticizing the streamer, he seemed to be a little angry. Lord Su, you don't understand. You have to keep up with the trends. Although you're the president of an entertainment company, your thinking is outdated. Tang Chuan said. I'm outdated, I'm willing. Su Yu rolled his eyes at Tang Chuan. I won't argue with you. My sister-in-law's words are authoritative. Sister-in-law, what do you think of this? Tang Chuan threw the question to Humin. You seem to have gone off topic. Why are you talking about the streamers? Didn't you say that Xinjiani's court hearing is tomorrow and that you have gossip for us? Humin looked serious. We were all fooled by Tang Chuan. He went off topic and went to the Arctic. If it weren't for Mion's quick wits, he would have talked about the interstellar. Jiang Xiaowei covered her mouth and laughed. Yes, my sister-in-law is smart. Do you guys want to hear it? I really do know something big. Tang Chuan pretended to be mysterious. Chapter 2836. We don't need to ask you. You can't help but blurt it out yourself.
Su Yu laughed.
Just then, the waiter knocked on the door and came in to serve the dishes. Oh, the dishes are here. Let's chat while we eat. Little bean pudding, I ordered small portions for you. Am I good enough? Tang Chuan stretched his neck and asked the twins who were playing happily on the other side of the table. You're very loyal. Little Bean gave him a thumbs up. Come on, call me uncle. Tang Chuan gestured with his finger. I'll slap your face. You want to trick us into calling you uncle with just one meal? It seems like you haven't grown up yet, Little Bean said. He's still a kid. Don't lower yourself to his level. Come on, let's continue playing. Pudding was like a little adult playing Gamoko happily with Wei Yunchu. Tang Chuan was speechless. Haraha, are you stupid now? Qin Ning couldn't stop laughing. Do you think my two babies are that easy to fool? Humin also laughed. Are you sure you're not looking for death by comparing your IQ with theirs? Zhu Lingling teased. Okay, I admit defeat. Pretend I didn't say anything. Let's continue the topic, okay? Guys, this is definitely big news. You'll be surprised after you hear it. Tang Chuan deliberately tried to sell the topic. You ordered so many dishes. Young Master Tang, you're really generous today. Wei Liao chuckled as he looked at the dazzling array of dishes on the table. Fuck, are you guys going to listen to me or not? Tang Chuan looked helpless. Seeing that no one was cooperating with him, he glanced at Qin Chu. Brother-in-law, come on. You're the most powerful one here. Give me some face and ask me. In the end, Tang Chuan had no choice but to look at Qin Chu, the king of silence. Qin Chu was reading the important report sent by the company on his phone, but he wasn't idle either. He heard Tang Chuan's words clearly. So, what is the big news that you know? Qin Chu actually asked obediently. Wow, my brother actually gave you face. That's not easy. Qin Ning patted Tang Chuan's shoulder. Tang Chuan was so excited that he clenched his fists and said, "Thank you, my brother-in-law." Ha! Comrades, here's the thing. Isn't Xin Jiani going to court soon? Well then? Gao Ran continued to ask. Yan has been looking for lawyers all this time. Most of the lawyers don't dare to take on this case because they don't want to offend us. Cut the crap and get to the point. Jiang Xiaowei smiled while adding more dishes. Sister-in-law Xiaowei, don't worry. Here's the main point. So Hui Yanyan made a deal with a lawyer in private. Not only did she have to pay him 1,000,000 yuan in legal fees, she also had to sleep with him. Haha. Are you serious? That shouldn't be possible, right? 1,000,000 is more, or less the same. It shouldn't be enough to go to bed, right?
Besides, would she dare?
Would young Master Xin let her do that? Jiang Xiaowei shook her head. Sister-in-law Xiaowei, you don't know.
You didn't see what happened that day.
Lord Su probably didn't learn from you guys. Learn what? Jiang Xiaowei's face was full of question marks. Yan went to a nightclub in the middle of the night to find Xin Mingxi. Lord Su and I were both there that night. They had a falling out and said they broke up, and as far as I know, Xin Mingxi has been living in the Xin family's old mansion ever since that day. Xin Mingxi isn't an idiot. He would rather not be with Hui Yanyan than help Xin Jiani. After all, he can't afford to offend Lord Su and my brother-in-law, right? Really? Then Hui Yanyan is sacrificing a lot. But I'm more curious about which law firm is brave enough to take on this case. Zhu Lingling couldn't help but ask. Chapter 28:37. It's me. Huamin pursed his lips shyly. Then, everyone's emojis exploded. Gao Ran. Wow, that's the third one. They're way ahead in terms of numbers. Huamin. Wei Liao. If it's a boy, they'll have both a son and a daughter. Jiang Xiaowei. Even if it's a girl, they'll still benefit. They have good genes and are all beautiful. Qin Ning. Then I'm going to be an aunt again. I'm so happy. Hey, my uncle and the others don't know yet, right? Huamin. Yeah, I haven't told them yet. I don't want more people to know that I'm pregnant. Zhu Lingling. Right. Especially Hu Xiqian, that big bad guy. Chen Jia. Mian. Why don't you apply for leave? You have a lot of work to do at the hospital. It's not good for the baby. And I Yang. Sis, you should quit. You're just a deputy director. Don't be a director. Huamin. I'm not that pretentious, okay? Plus, it took me years to get to the position of deputy director. It's not easy. Tang Chuan. Sister-in-law, if you give birth to a son this time, you have to hold a party for his 1-month-old birthday. I'll extort a fortune from you two tycoons. Let's set it at 180,000 yuan per table. Huamin. Wow, 188,000 yuan per table? Do you want to eat Tang Seng's meat? That expensive? Tang Chuan. Lord Su, you're going to be a godfather again. Are you excited? Su Yu. Yes, I am. I'm very happy for her. Although he said he was happy, Su was still a little disappointed. Only he knew how he felt. Huamin. All right, stop making a fuss. When my baby is born, I can blackmail these uncles and aunties again. Hurry up and prepare the gifts. He will come out to greet you in less than 8 months. Zhu Lingling. In that case, it's already been 2 months. You're really something. You actually hid it for so long? Huamin. I didn't mean to hide it from you. It's just that too many things have happened recently, so I didn't have the time to tell you. Qin Shu. That's why I won't let her leave my side. Mr. Qin announced domineeringly. I won't leave even if you chase me away, okay? Huamin leaned his head against Qin Shu and acted like a spoiled child. In front of others, Huamin was always a wise man with a high IQ, but only in front of Qin Shu. She was shy, acted like a spoiled child, and acted cute. She was always like a child being coaxed, flattered, and spoiled. Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling were both very happy, but in private, they still felt emotional. In this world, if there was a type of extreme spoiling, it would be Qin Chu, who spoiled Huimin. He spoiled her to the point that even gods and men would hate him. It could be said that if Huimin one day became a villain or a terrorist, Qin Chu would never put justice before family. He would never even consider betraying the world with Huimin. It was a love that bordered on obsession. Rick once said that he felt that Qin Chu's love for Huimin was a little paranoid and even a little morbid. Even so, this type of love was something that could only be found by chance. There weren't many women in the world who could get it. Huimin was indeed a lucky woman. Tang Chuan, you guys are showing off your love again. Good thing I'm not single anymore. Come, Ning Ning, give me a kiss. Qin Ning, kiss my ass. Tang Chuan, why kiss my sister? I don't even like hot chicks. I'll just kiss my wife. So, as the only single person here, Lord Su, what do you want to say right now? Wei Liao used his phone as a microphone and put it next to Su's mouth. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.